At this point, I'm not so sure anymore. I am Amy Lynn Dzura. I am one of the community managers for D&D Adventures League, which is the organized play system for 5th edition D&D. So you can go anywhere and play your character in various parts of the world. You get to meet people from all over. I am tonight playing Shadow Across Rooftops, my Tabaxi knowledge cleric. So not a lot of common sense. Everything she knows comes out of a book, but she's very, very enthusiastic. So.
Hi, I'm Ed Greenwood. I created the Forgotten Realms. 56 years. Oh, gosh. And I am tonight playing Thorond of Tempest, Cleric of Tempest. Maintain the right.
Hi, I'm Eric Morden. I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and I am tonight's Squad Up ambassador. And I'm also a student at Carleton University, where I'm studying biology. And tonight I'll be playing as Farkon, the High Elf Wizard, where I like to shoot spells like fire and acid and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So yeah, that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam Meggs. I'm a writer for comics like Marvel Action Captain Marvel and novels like The Unstoppable Asp Built on Hope and video games like Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. And I wanted to say that I have a really personal connection to this charity. I'm from London, Ontario, where the charity was founded, and I actually saw Jesse complete his first countrywide journey. I was there when he pressed the button at the very end. So it's been when I was very small, it's been a very big part of my life for a long time, and it's very important to me to support this. So thank you for having me. And I am playing Bo, and she is a very hyperactive druid forest gnome with a small badger named Bear. And things are probably going to go off the rails for her pretty quickly.
B. Dave Walters. I say words about things. I am the writer and co-creator of Dungeons & Dragons: The Dark and Wish, the comic series. I'm the DM of the Dark and Wish stream. I do play Freely, the Lucky Boy, on Silver and Steel on Tuesdays. And you can find me wherever fine streaming is to be located, up to and including right here, right now. Tonight, I am playing Strix, the Eladrin Assassin, Apex Predator and Supreme Being, and deeply confused why Farkon makes such a mess with all that acid and fire when a dagger is so much more precise.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Wakelin. I'm a comedian and actress here in Toronto, and I'm also playing with the worst internet in the world. So I'm dark into my camera. Tonight, I am playing Dr. Mordek, the worst coroner in the history of medicine.
We'll just say, while we're laying out tech snafus, my internet is spotty also. It crashed on me earlier. I have my hotspot ready, so if I disappear, I shall return.
All right, great.
Just to say I passed my stealth check if I disappear.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, we are back. And I will try and leave this alone. And we have almost everyone, but Emma's video is bad anyway. So, okay. There she is. Awesome. And everybody's
Don't
moving
touch that
again.
dial.
All right. So thank you for your patience, everyone. It sounds like my audio is working too now. So awesome. So the group of you have been summoned to Trollheart Barrow. It's a dwarven hold that is controlled by the clan Gravenbeard dwarves. You haven't been told why you've been summoned here, but you were promised a great bounty and a noble quest. You're waiting in the antechamber for about 20 minutes. Everybody can make a history, a stone cutting check, or with as if you're a dwarf, or a smith tools check as well.
I decline because I do not care.
Fair.
Yeah, well.
What did everybody get? Does anybody have history or stone cutting or smith tools?
I'll take it.
Okay, Amy, what you get?
I got a 24 on my history check.
Okay, you know some things. Trollheart Barrow is located near the Fire River. It's a stone's throw from the port city of Ravensbluff. The Gravenbeard clan is known across the world for its unique vein of adamantine. They call it sky metal. It's adamantine that's infused with a inky black streak. It's highly prized by aristocrats and the wealthy to show their wealth and power. Traders along the port and along the traders in Ravensbluff and along the Sea of Fallen Stars have become very wealthy distributing this material because no other deposit of sky metal has ever been found. You know that there was a legend that says it was discovered by a great explorer on an expedition. It's as hard as the Dwarf Father's anvil and as black as the blackest night, and sky metal would bring fame to its discoverer. But it was almost lost, as the heroes who were sent to recover it could not. In fact, it's rumored that they tried to destroy it. And had they succeeded, perhaps the Gravenbeard clan would not have become as famous as they are. But it was recovered, ensuring the explorer's great legacy. The one thing I wanted to mention before we got any further is you who are watching can influence the events of tonight's game. For a $25 contribution, you can give the party a minor bane or a minor boon. Lesser bonus to a skill check, like a +1 to athletics or a -1 to dexterity. With a contribution of $50, you can give them a major boon. If I rolled a 100, a D100 on a percentile die, they would get a critical hit that they could use at a later time before they rolled. So please do consider contributing. So you've been gathered in the antechamber and you've been asked to wait. You've been summoned by the Speaker and the Council of Seven. In front of you, there are two large metal doors. Each of them are 20 feet high, leading into the next room. After about 40 minutes of being kept waiting, the doors begin to creep open. The video's frozen again. Are you kidding me? Okay. Looks fine to me. The doors creep open, and a figure wearing a short cape and a hood drawn tightly around their face begins to push forward. The creature huffs and puffs as it tries to drive the door forward, just enough space to squeeze themselves through. He takes a minute and he says, you think they'd hire a guy for this? Jeez. Hey, my name is Flip. His cape is drawn really tightly around his face. You can just see his nose. It's large and red and pink. He sort of looks down at you like this because he can't even see through his cape because his face is covered so tightly. Is this it? Is this all of you? We were sort of expecting more people. Yeah, that's it.
You don't need more people than us. Hi!
Yes, I believe each of us counts as least 3, possibly 5 dwarves.
Yeah, definitely that.
For sure.
I don't want to take offense to that. I'm a dwarf.
Well, we won't hold it against you, friend.
Okay, wow, there's a lot of energy in this room right now. I think I might need a minute. Okay. You've been summoned here by the Gravenbeard clan, which I think you know. I don't know why they've summoned you. They're hoping to get some experienced adventurers, but you lot are going to have to do. But I feel like I have to warn you. The Gravenbeard clan isn't like other dwarven clans. There's no king. There's a speaker whose job it is to make the will of the Council of Seven known. Though Kandrin Gravenbeard really does see himself as a king in his own mind, he whispers and sort of leans in and says, some people, totally not me though, call him Rooster because he's loud and crows and is generally kind of annoying. But don't call him that. And don't tell him I told you that people call him that, because that would, oh man, that'd be bad. Yeah.
Who are you? You work for the Gravenbeards? Like, why are you talking about them in the like as
Oh.
if you're not one of them.
Oh, well, I'm not technically a dwarf. They call me Flip, mostly because that's my name. Um, and yeah, I'm like their herald, their guy. I'm like their guy.
So you're
What do
an
you,
honorary. You're
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
what do you mean technically not a dwarf?
Well, I mean, some days you feel like a dwarf and some days you don't.
Well,
Aw,
I respect you and what you identify as, friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never feel like a dwarf, but I'm a
Wow.
gnome.
Why would you want to? I mean, yes, yes. Yes.
Gary Murdoch's going to walk up to Flip and then tap his nose lightly with his walking stick. That nose is a clear indication that you, sir, are going to die in the next few months of an aneurysm.
Excuse me, you're Mordek, right?
Dr. Mordek, yes.
Coroner from Ravensbluff?
Yes, Chief Coroner, thank you.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone in Ravensbluff die of an aneurysm according to you?
Well, it is very. If you've read my latest works on the aneurysms by Mordek, you would know that I have determined that aneurysms are quite contagious.
Right, aneurysms are contagious. Anyway, so these 7 representatives from the Council of 7 were elected to provide the speaker the knowledge of all of the people who the Gravenbeard clan represents. So smiths, stonemasons, the family, scribes, soldiers, clergy, arcane practitioners. And let me tell you, bringing the arcane practitioners together was contentious. You think sorcerers and freaking bards and wizards agree on anything? Oh man, those meetings, the worst. Anyway, do you have any questions before we start? Because I'll just sort of take
So
you right in
many.
there.
So many, but we should probably go.
Yes, I feel like we're roughly 45 minutes in, and we've yet to discuss the coin or who I'm going to murder. So if we could just.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay. Great. So very good. I'll just take you in. So one thing. To the left of the council, there's a holy relic. As we're walking in, you should just respectfully nod to it. Yeah, it's important.
What does it look like, this holy relic?
It's on a day. It's on a dais. There's like a plaque in front of it. And it's a combat wheelchair from about 200 years ago. The clan was founded by Tollus Gravenbeard, whose brother Miles, this was his chair. He's a very great hero in the annals of the Gravenbeard clan. He's performed many heroic deeds. I'm sure they'll tell you all about it if you ask. But it was said that after he accomplished his greatest feat, the one that caused his sacrifice, that his name would never be forgotten. And so the council has put it in the council room, so everybody who knows, or everybody who comes by, sees it and recognizes that sacrifice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so yeah, just sort of right this way. Remember, don't call him Rooster. You know what? He kind of sees himself as a king. Maybe don't call him anything. Just say hey.
Friend, you do know we've never been here before, so the chances of any of us calling him Rooster were essentially none until you introduced that into our minds. And now, who knows what this badger's going to say?
I can't get it out of my head. The man's a rooster.
It might trigger an aneurysm in our fair coroner.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, let's go.
So as you enter the room, it's large. It's about 100 feet wide by 100 feet long. Torchlight flickers along the walls and the ceiling. They've been polished smooth, almost to a mirror-like finish. At the far end of the room, there's a dwarf who's seated surrounded by 7 other dwarves in a semicircle, close enough that they could lean in and talk to each other. In front of you, you see Skip nod to the dais that he mentioned to you, and he sort of looks back to see if any of you are going to do it too.
I nod to the wheelchair.
Proper respect
Yes.
and Then I'd look at the dwarves and say, "Hi ho, dwarves," and bow.
As you do that, Flip sort of coughs and says, "That was funny."
I also bow, and so does my little badger. But out of character, I would like to say that what I really wanted to do was turn into a rooster. But tragically, rooster is not on the wild-shaped druid list. But if it was, I would have done it.
Nice.
It's not on the wild shape druid list.
Inspiration.
Oh,
Very
I
good.
turn into a rooster.
I'm like, surely there must be some funding goal that can be deployed to the community here to allow our fair druid to turn into a rooster. I'm just saying, there's got to be a number attached to that.
So the dwarf who's seated in front of the semicircle glances at the group of you, and he's like, "This is it?" Flip nods, and he says, "Fine, you'll all have to do." He's wearing modest clothing, as are the other members of the Council of Seven. They all have some sort of adornment that identifies them. The smith is wearing a chain made of wrought iron, and the cleric is wearing a holy symbol. I will get to the point because I do not want to waste my time. One of our greatest relics has been stolen, and I suspect it was the goblins who live in the warrens below. However, our ancestor made peace with the goblins, and we cannot move against them despite our suspicion, which is why we'll hire you to investigate. Do you
I'm sorry,
accept?
did you say you made peace with goblets?
No, I said our ancestor did.
With goblets?
Tolis, our great founder, decided that the clan would be so wealthy selling our sky metal, which is unique in all the world, that we need not war with the goblins. If we were to give them a share of our wealth in the form of food and weapons and trade goods, he surmised that because they're goblins, no one else would trade with them, and it would ensure peace and that they would not rob us. Up until this point, it's worked more or less beyond a few bad apples.
That is simultaneously progressive and predatory.
I like the latter more than the former, but it is what it is. One dwarf leans in, and Kandrin says, "Yes, my husband makes a fine point. Over the last years in particular, our interaction with the goblins has grown less and less. We don't know why."
Well, you know what they say, goblin here today, goblin gone tomorrow. No? Okay.
I do lean over to Thorond and I say, "I can imagine the goblins just didn't want to hang around with all these dwarves anymore."
Do you have any questions before I send you and Flip on your way?
Send us to do what?
And I jingle my coin purse right after he says that.
Fine, I'll spell it out for you. The goblins stole our greatest relic. It was the hammer of Tolis. As he says this, another dwarf leans into him, and he adds, allegedly, stole the greatest relic of our clan, the maul of Tolis Gravenbeard. I would like you to investigate the warrens below and see if you can recover it. It is it is an item of great power and a symbol of our family.
A moment. If it is an item of great power and a symbol of your family, surely, like most dwarven clans, you have a replica. You know, the one that you show non-dwarves. Could we see it so we know what we're looking for when we lay our eyes on the real one?
Yes, I will have that done. Certainly. So he motions to Flip and he says, "Doc, would you kindly go and get the replica to show these fine folks to us so they know the item they're looking for?" And he points at Strick and says, I like your sensibility. You might be of use to me. The reward that I shall bestow. He looks at somebody who is about to say something, and then the reward that we would seek to bestow upon you is a dagger made or a weapon made of sky metal of your choice. It would have to, of course, be made of metal. A bow made of sky metal would be difficult to wield, but a sword, a dagger, perhaps.
With one minor caveat. I, myself, of course, walk the path of blade and steel, but my associates here, they are thinkers, spellcasters, nature lovers. That may not be nearly as appealing to them as it very much is to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose I could give them some gold if that's better.
Do you have a library?
Yes, we do.
I'd settle for access to your library as my payment.
In addition to her coin. No, you must don't give away the store, my dear.
Oh, is this negotiating? Okay.
Yes. No, you always ask for more. Yes.
All the gold, and the books.
Fine.
Golden books.
He sort of looks at Strick and he's like, "My favor for you has ended. I don't like you as much as I did 5 minutes ago."
Dwarf, so fickle.
So Flip returns and he brings a maul. It's a large weapon that you would assume would be wielded in two hands, but Flip says, if you tell him he probably wielded it in one, they'll be impressed, and hands it to Bo.
Wow. So this thing is like, I assume it's like double my
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's giant.
it's like double my size,
Yeah.
and I like instantly grab it and I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm talking. Can I keep this one?
No.
This is what I want if we get the real one.
Why y'all so adventurous? This makes it so difficult. Fine, you can keep it if you bring the other one back, my word.
And you like, I don't want to give it back, but I kind of like begrudgingly.
Is the real one this size?
Aye, it is.
This is an exact replica.
Aye.
Looks like this. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sam, you have been granted a bonus. The rooster comment was much beloved by our chat. So you get a +1 bonus to your next acrobatic check as you're having a great hair day and it's really improving your aerodynamics.
Sweet.
Quite a majestic gnome you are, yes.
My hair is pink, for the record.
Oh, it's flying. It's flying in the wind. Amy, your character gets +1 to their next Arcana check as you hear a conversation about the cosmos and everything in it. That's the thing. You're gonna get paid 500 gold plus the books plus a weapon, perhaps access to our medical journals for Dr. Mordek over there. Does anybody else want anything of substance while we're giving away the farm?
Yes, I have a question, and this is strictly for medicine, and I don't want this to sound creepy or weird, but do you have a morgue?
Some things we don't share with outsiders. And dwarf you may be, but Gravenbeard you're not.
I don't need the whole body, just the brain.
Okay, so on that note, Doc, he points to Flip, would you kindly escort them to the Warrens? Everyone can make an insight check, please.
I do. When he says that, I'm like, Farken has yet to speak for himself.
Yes, your point is made. You there, wizard. What say you? What reward would you command?
Just wondering if you have any more interesting spell books, possibly, in your library of yours.
Yes, we have an interesting spell book. You can go with your friend, and she will take you there. You'll enjoy the books together. You'll have a whole day to participate. Shadow across rooftops and ye. But I assume you want the gold too, right? Like everybody else?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
Of course. Great. So Kandrin sort of sighs and says, fine. Is there anything else? Would you like a meal? Should I rub your feet too? That was not a real offer.
Well, yeah, it's on the way. Oh.
Well, I don't think I want to have my feet rubbed with a meal by a dwarf. It's, not one of the things on my list du bucket.
Okay.
Keep an open mind is all I'm saying.
Yes, I feel like his rough, coursed hands might actually have an exfoliating property, wouldn't you think?
Yes. I'm
But
not
also-
taking these boots off.
Yes. Probably for the best friend.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, probably the best.
It's a 18 insight to read him.
So as you were talking to Kandrin, Flip is gradually becoming more and more withdrawn. It's almost like he has some grave concerns about what you've been asked to do, and he's trying his best not to show it, but you're able to see through the facade, even though he's sort of looking at everything like this.
I lean into him and I say, oh, I know, friend. That mall is probably stashed away somewhere here, and they think we're just going to go execute some innocent goblins. And to be honest, they're right. I will. But we'll get to the bottom of this one way or another.
He says, yeah, I've got something to say about that, but this isn't the right place.
So take us where it is a good.
So he will lead you out of the antechamber, and he gathers you around.
We'll just say right before we leave, I do just want to say, don't worry, we'll return before the cock crows. And turn and walk out.
The look of rage on Kandrin's face. You need a -15 insight check to realize that he is beet red. He's redder than the surface of the sun right now, but he can't say anything in the presence of his fellows. So you escort him out, and you hear Flip snort. I said not to do that. Okay. There's more to this situation than the council realizes. He sort of glances over his shoulder. Before you go to the Warrens, visit the Sky Metal Processing Vault and follow the tailings. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Just follow
My tail sort of picks up my tail.
He sort of glances over his shoulder. He's like, follow the hammering. You can't miss it. It's that way. Just follow the tailing. I'll meet you at the entrance to the Warrens in 1 hour. Follow the tailings.
Where's the entrance to the Warrens? Can we find it without you? Is it signposted?
Yeah. You'll be able to find it without me. You go to the left of the Sky Metal Processing Vault, walk 500 feet. It's the 2 large golden doors that aren't actually gold. They're just painted that way.
Well, nothing else has made sense today. Why not?
So what do you all do?
I head towards the processing plant.
You hear a steady pounding as you get closer and closer to the facility. It's like a growing storm as you enter. You see large steam-driven hammers that are crushing ore into pieces, and deft dwarven hands are pulling it out before the next strike of the hammer. There are multiple stations that the dwarves are working at, all chiseling the smaller pieces of iron, or the smaller pieces of sky metal into more manageable pieces. But the one thing that all of you notice, leading from the hammers and each station, is a channel that's cut and leads all the way to a massive chasm. It leads as high up as the eye can see and as far down as the eye can see. It's railed off, but there's a black, inky substance that's rolling down the channel into this chasm and going off the edge.
Can I make an investigation check?
Yes,
as
please.
to what the black stuff is?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. I'm like, that's really nasty. And my badger so gross. So I'm going to, let me see. I rolled a 12, but I have a +3 to investigation, so 15.
So you think that this material is one of the first things you learned about sky metal is that it's infused with this black inky streak. You think that in the course of the processing, some of this ink bleeds out of the ore, and it's goes through these channels and into the refuse pile over the edge of this chasm.
It's trash from the metal.
Is that where the goblins live? Are they dumping on them, literally as well as figuratively?
Are you asking somebody?
I do say this just out loud. Like, I mean, I'm thinking aloud to everyone as when she points this out.
Does anybody have any response to that?
Is there any way to look down the cavern, like stand on the edge and kind of...
Absolutely.
Take a
Farkan, you
peek.
see, as you walk over the railing, you sort of peer down, and it actually is as deep and as high as your vision will show. But as you're leaning over, it's interesting. A dwarf with a push broom is pushing and pushing and pushing what looks to be small chips of metal, crystallized black inky material, and they're just pushing it over the edge.
How big is the chasm?
So, from the railing to the other side, it's about 60. It's a 60-foot gap, but it leads to a sheer cliff. Nobody seems to know when you ask the dwarves how high it goes or how low it goes. And in response to Strick's question, one of the dwarfs says, "No, not that we know of. There's nothing living down there that we know of. This is just the way it's always been."
I'd like to ask the push broom dwarf.
Yep.
If I can collect some of the scraps.
He's like, "Really?"
I mean, if you're not going to use them.
He sort of looks down and is like, "I don't care. It's just garbage."
I'll
Yep.
take it for you, and then I'll use my little paws to gather up and like put it in a little envelope and into my satchel.
Absolutely. You're easily able to gather it up, and you can investigate it in more detail at a future time. One thing that you do notice, Strick, as you're looking at all of the dwarves, they're wearing some very thick safety gear. They're wearing a leather apron, sort of what would be like a mask over their face, and they're wearing very thick leather gloves as they're banging away at this material.
Should we have on eye protection or something while we're here?
No, you're probably fine.
Friends, by chance, do any of you happen to possess the light cantrip? Mystical trick that eludes me, unfortunately. Shadow across rooftop does?
I'll sort of bat it back and forth between my paws.
I pick up one of these rocks and I'm like, would you mind? And I walk over to the ledge and I just drop the glowing rock and just watch.
You watch that thing drop, and it keeps going and going and going and going and going and going until you lose sight of it completely. It must be at least 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet down. It could be from the very base of the mountain all the way to the top. But one thing that you do hear after about 30 seconds when you drop it is a very faint echo of a plunk.
No, did you hear that? The pit may not be as bottomless as they suspect.
Thrawn, is there anything you want to do in the processing plant?
No.
Okay. Bo, how about you?
I want to take a vial of the black stuff
All right.
with me.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
why don't you make a sleight of hand check to see, would you like to ask, or do you just kind of want to swipe it?
I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
But not a big ask or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and do it subtly, or are you just going to grab it?
I'm just gonna go for it. I
All
don't
right.
think it seems like the kind of thing that I wouldn't think like I should try to hide that I'm doing this. I'm just gonna like do it.
All right. So you're able to grab some of the inky black stuff, and it's not really so much a vial as it's just sort of like a bit of slime that you can get on a piece of rock, and you can shove it into a piece of leather or parchment into your pocket to review later.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
Let's do that. Gross. That's mine.
Yeah, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Is there something around here that are tailings? I don't actually know what tailings are, so I'm
It's all of the sort of garbage and the refuse that was being discarded from the metal processing. So basically, as he was pushing the broom, that was sort of what would be described as tailings and the inky substance going through the channels.
Bo,
Hi.
you seem calm and level-headed. He wasn't attempting to ask us to come here and kill all these dwarves, was he?
Well, I feel like you have a weird thing that where you don't like the dwarves very much, so I don't know if that's just
me.
maybe how you're interpreting things.
Excuse me, it is not a weird thing. Look at them and look at me.
Fair enough, but I think maybe that's just like a little wishful thinking, maybe on your part. Maybe you're thinking, hope you think that.
Well, that's why I wanted to bounce it off someone else. Do not kill these dwarves right now. Understood. Got it.
That's just kind of my thought. That's just kind of my thought.
No,
Do
it
it that way
checks
you will.
out. No, it scans. It all scans for the time being. Yes.
No, I just can't help but think that maybe, sir, you may or may not be an assassin of humans or living beings, but you, sir, are an assassin of tolerance.
I have the utmost respect for these dwarves and their fine craftsmanship. Simply, there is an order to things, and as an Eladrin, some fly in the clouds, some peck along the ground. You know how it is. Dwarves like being down underground. You all chose this.
Actually, I'm what's known as a mountain dwarf.
There's different kinds?
I don't. What?
Ah, is she having an aneurysm? Is it happening? Is this what it looks like?
No.
Fair.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead, Strick. Say it. They all look the same with a beard on. Yeah.
It's you don't have to just at me like that, like I was trying to have the common courtesy, Thoron, to just keep some things inside.
Oh, all right. Yes.
So the dwarves are really more or less paying you no mind. They clearly recognize you are allowed to be in the Gravenbeard clan ancestral home, but they're sort of losing their patience because you're sort of getting in the way at this point. You're picking things up. You're asking them questions.
I would ask one. Oh no, go ahead, Farkon.
Do the tailings go in any other direction other than over the cliff that we could follow, maybe, or no?
No. the tailings go deep into the chasm, which is the belly of the mountain, more or less out of our way. And we clean the floor frequently with water to ensure that the leavings of the ore processing don't remain. And as he says that, there's a splash of water and a bucket just covers the entire floor, which you notice as they do it is slanted slightly so that it's tilted toward the edge of the chasm.
That's a safety hazard right there.
Is there anything else you would like to do? You wanted to ask a question, Strick.
Yes, because Bo still has the replica mall, right? Or did she have to give it back then for now?
She had to give it.
Begrudgingly gave it back, but I didn't want to.
Yes, temporarily. Where was the ancestral mall originally stored? We might gain some insight by analyzing the crime scene to see if it was even possible for the goblins to gain entrance.
It was it was stored in the council chamber, sort of over where the Council of Seven sit. Sort of a point of pride sort of thing.
They took the mall, but not the combat wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
They snuck into the heart of their establishment with no one noticing and did nothing but take the one thing that would hurt them the most. I must say, my respect for these goblins is increasing by the moment.
Allegedly.
It all seems to be completely in order and exactly as we were told it took place. So, yes, unless my companions have any more questions, to the Warrens.
All right. So before you head to the Warrens, Generous Chat has provided 2 more boons. So Farcan, for a single round, you may at any time gain a swim speed equal to your walking speed. And that would last for 1 round, and you can call on that boon anytime. Mordek, you get a +1 to your next athletics check as a passerby says, "Hey, great form," and your morale improves.
That is great.
So you follow the path that Flip set out for you, and Thrond, it is exactly the way that he said. You turn to the right outside of the processing plant, you walk 500 feet, and you see 2 golden doors, which aren't really gold. You can see through it very easily. And Flip is waiting there with a comically oversized key. So did you follow the tailings?
Not all the way.
Okay.
As you can see, we didn't go down 1,000 feet.
Pretty far down.
Yeah, like we're not dead.
Yeah, I mean that's a plus. But so he twists the key in the lock, and he pushes the doors wide open for you, and he says, follow the tailings, and he sort of glances over his shoulder. Find Gragnar.
Go ahead.
Are you going to lock us in?
Yeah.
And how do we get out?
Knock 3 times and say, "Hey, Flip." I'll be waiting.
I look at this door and how easy it would be to pick or get around somehow. Presumably, it seems pretty stout.
It is very, very stout, but someone of your skill could probably pick the lock because the key was made to be imposing, not necessarily sturdy. So the lock is quite large, so you, with your deft hands, you would be able to likely pick the lock quite easily.
I just look at Flip and I say, you could have saved us an hour if you just said they were throwing their garbage down into the place where the goblins or some other deep dweller resides.
Yeah, but this is a quest, man. Like, you gotta follow the clues. Can't just tell you everything.
Sure you
No.
can.
Jeez.
Like, tell us who Gragnar is.
Because it is not a quest, friend. It is a job. We're here to do something specific, get our payment, and go.
You say
Yeah, who's Gragnar?
so many questions. Gragnar, he sort of looks over his shoulder and he whispers, Gragnar is the leader of the goblins.
Gragnar, goblin leader. Got it.
Kill Gragnar the Goblin Leader. Understood.
Is Ragnar in the bottom of the pit?
I think I'm going to get a freaking aneurysm.
Oh, sit down. Let me check.
Oh God, they're contagious. Please, no.
Everyone cover your mouths. They're very contagious.
Oh.
I'll take my walking stick and I'll tap him upside the head.
Stop tapping me with your freaking stick.
I'm
Chosen.
trying to help.
Respect a lady.
Oh, man. Gragnar is the leader of the goblins. You need to talk to him to follow the tailings. There's more.
Are you talking slowly because you are having a stroke induced by an aneurysm?
I'm talking slowly because the 6 of you are enraging me.
Well, that's one achievement so far tonight.
Yes, something we all have in common, I
Achievement
believe.
unlocked. Oh, that was the wrong voice for that. Achievement unlocked. So, Shadow Across Rooftops, do you have any questions for Flip before you head down into the Warrens?
Oh, how are we going to recognize Gragnar? Like, are we just going to be able to walk up to a bunch of goblins and say, hey, the dwarves sent us? Flip sent us?
These goblins aren't like any other goblins you'll ever meet. They aren't necessarily going to attack you. Necessarily. I can't promise.
Cool.
I'm not
Cool,
a fortune
cool.
teller. Yeah.
So we tell them Flip sent us, and we'll be friends.
I mean, yeah, maybe don't mention my name. Keep me out of it. It'd probably be better for me. But yeah, I mean, it might save you some time if you said that.
Why, have you met them before? The goblins?
You guys ask a lot of questions. This is intense.
Well, ask me if I had more questions.
We're only descending into a monster-filled warren under a mountain on an assassination mission, so maybe dotting some I's and crossing some T's just makes sense.
He will sort of hold his hands out to Strick for a moment and say, "You guys know this is not an assassination mission, right?
No,
that
why
is
else did
clear
they
to
call
the
me?
rest of you, right?"
That is what I do, though.
We'll find somebody for you to kill. We'll figure it out.
Maybe it'll be Flip.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
Right here.
It's going to be dead soon anyway. May as well.
For the record, the
put him
assassination
at-
target is never freaking Flip, okay?
I mean, I could just put you out of your misery, friend. You literally wouldn't feel a
Okay,
thing.
let's go.
All right.
This time,
I do
everybody.
One thing, though, when he holds his hands up to me, I look at his hands. Do his hands look like dwarf hands?
His hands do not look like dwarf hands to you.
I don't out him, but I'm like, okay, yeah.
He does not, based on what you've seen, he does not appear to be a dwarf. So you
Not
enter.
technically.
Not
What
technically.
does he appear to be? Like a goblin?
He does not appear to be a goblin. His flesh is pink. You think he might be a very short human. Thrond, you've seen enough in the realms to know that this looks like a human who's trying to conceal his identity. But he looks quite short, almost slightly above the minimum height for a human, actually. As you enter, he's like, "Go, hurry, but be careful of the traps. Bye!" And he flips the lock.
It's so quiet all of a sudden.
As you descend downwards, the ceiling and floor are immaculately manicured with dwarven expertise. The walls tell the story of the Gravenbeard clan, the discovery of the Sky Metal, their partnership with Raven's Bluff, and boats full of Sky Metal traveling down the Fire River to the port and beyond. You get to a point where the carvings stop, and around you there's nothing but quiet and living rock. But as you descend further and further, the corridors become wilder and more unkempt. Phospholuminescent moss dots the walls, so you don't need the light spell at this point. So Strick and Bo, both of you see a pit trap ahead of you. It's clear as day. It's almost like it's glowing yellow outlined.
Trap!
Hey, yeah, pick up a rock and just like toss it on the pit trap.
It opens.
That's an excellent eye there, ma'am.
Thanks. I can see real good in the dark. It's like one of my things.
Yeah, you're easily able to, now that you know that it's there, you're easily able to bypass it very, very simply. You can.
Nice job.
Yeah, you can crawl down, crawl back up.
As we're making our way across, I look at Farkin and I say, you friend wizard, Farkin, from whence do you hail?
I don't actually know.
From somewhere else.
A location.
It's like all of those magics have addled your brain.
You know, memory loss is a pretty good indicator of, I guess you can imagine what.
An aneurysm, I guess.
Bingo.
You continue to walk forward. The ground ahead of you looks perilous. It becomes more and more clear that this is a wild and unkempt part of the Warrens. You must be getting closer and closer to the goblin territory. Up ahead, you see a T-junction. On the ground, you see a single piton driven into the stone. What do you do?
Would I trouble you for another light cantrip, Shadow? Is it all right if I call you Shadow, by the way? I wouldn't proper respect. Is it Shadow across rooftops, or are we...
We're friends. We're in wherever we are. You can call me whatever you want as long as you get me out of here.
Done. And same thing again. If she lights the rock, drop it off and just look.
So, you chuck it at the piton and it doesn't really do anything, but something above flashes in the light. And it kind of looks like there might be something concealed in the ceiling.
Anyone else see that?
Pretty much everybody else
I
can see
probably
it
do.
once you point it out. It was quite well hidden, but once you point it out, it's almost impossible to miss.
Can I use my special acrobatics check to try to grab it off the ceiling?
100%, yes.
Okay. So I make I'm gonna make a running leap to like scrabble up the walls to see
Yep.
if I can get it. Okay. Well, I rolled a 2, so that's not like the best thing ever. +1 + 2 is 5.
So you're about to make the most heroic leap of all time, but you kind of like stumble and fall just in front of the piton. Nothing seems to happen, but you don't quite get up and grab the rooftop like you were hoping.
My badger just laughs at me like hysterically.
Nice.
Just thinks it's very fun. I'm mortified.
Don't worry, Ghost.
So to be clear, is this like a trap door in the ceiling or like an embedded object?
It looks like a trap door in the ceiling. Something may be on the ground that triggers something to come down.
Oh well.
But you fell right in front of the trigger, Bo. So you didn't bring it. You didn't trigger the trap. You were just like about to do this big hero move and like grab it in slow motion, like something out of 300, and pull it down to the ground and sort of show off.
So cool.
Yeah, it was really gonna be cool.
Fling down next to the badger and say, "See, by her failure, she's actually succeeded. Effortlessness. That is true mastery."
The badger just like shakes its head.
Tough crowd.
Does anybody else have anything they would like to try?
I've got cat paws.
Are you gonna try and do the heroic leap and grab it from the ceiling and see if you can do what Bo could not?
Yes. I'm gonna
Yes.
show Bo how cats get it done. As a druid, you can learn something. You can turn into the best form of all, the cat.
All right, make me an acrobatics check, Amy.
Okay. Paws crossed. Ooh, that's a 15.
Yeah, piece of cake. You run forward, you hop over Bo and Strick, who are both sort of laying on the ground. You kick off of the wall, you punch the concealed thing, you grab what looks to be a bag from the roof, and it's actually a bag full of hammers.
Well, that's dumb.
Had you triggered the trap, the bag full of hammers would have dropped on your head.
I understood that as
Yes.
it's quite clever.
I hand the hammers to Strick.
I do actually dump them out on the off chance there's anything other than just a hammer, or if
Yeah.
do these look goblin made or dwarven made?
They look goblin made, and in fact, they're clearly made for a small sized wielder.
I guess the goblins didn't want the dwarves coming to visit.
I'd take one.
Nice. Yep,
Yoink.
absolutely. There's about 7 of them, so you could each take one if you'd like.
Oh yes.
I'll take
too.
one.
Okay.
I've
awesome.
always wanted a goblin hammer.
Hammer of the goblins.
Does it look weighted well enough to throw?
Absolutely. Yep, you can
Like-
totally throw it.
Is there enough for one for Bo's badger to carry one? just in
Yes,
case?
there's 6 of you plus 1 for the badger. Yep.
Perfect. Badger definitely takes one.
So the
War
piton,
badger.
the piton was at a T junction. You could go left or right. Which way would you like to go?
Would I attempt a survival check to see if I notice any tracks?
Yes, it will be quite difficult because it is more or less a stone floor. But yeah, give it a go.
The good news is I'm not very good at survival. That's a big old 10.
Yeah, no, you don't really notice anything on the hard stone that would indicate a pathway leading one way or the other.
Are there any like animals or rats or anything scurrying around down here?
It's actually curious that you ask that because you notice it's more or less devoid of any kind of wildlife. You don't really see any signs of animals at all.
That's not good. Maybe I'll try to make a perception check to see if I can notice anything that will point us in the right direction.
Go for it.
Perhaps. Okay, I rolled a 14 plus a +6, so that's a 20.
Nice. So you, it does appear that there's goblin tracks going in both directions.
Well, I got nothing.
You think that there may be more goblin tracks going right?
We should go to the
than
right.
left, but it's hard to say.
I think we should go right. I have a good feeling about it.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. So you are able to go to the right. You eventually come upon a crossed intersection. There's foliage hanging down from the ceiling and you have to push it out of the way. The corridors have become quite wild here and much less kempt than the dwarven tunnels from above. You notice that there is a goblin sentry right in the way. He's eyeing you. His green skin is reflected in the phosphorescent moss and algae on the walls. He looks at you. What? He croaks out in common.
Just one quick thing. Every time we take a turn, I use that hammer and I scratch the wall like as high up as I can reach
Nice.
so that we don't get lost in
Smart.
here.
Absolutely. Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah. And when I see the sentry, I just look at you all and I'm like, we are talking to them first, yes?
Yeah, we're asking them where the their leader is.
Yeah.
My name.
But if they totally screw up, you can 100% murder them.
Excellent. Please, no, after you. Talk away.
Nice. A generous chat has provided us once again with a boon. This is a major boon. Who has not gotten a boon yet this game? Ed? Okay. Ed, the next time you roll a 1 on an ability check, you may re-roll that check.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Give you a dose of halfling luck.
Big.
Yes. So,
Tempest, thank you.
so the goblin sort of eyes you. Yeah?
Sorry.
So, take us to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's like, Gragnar. He leads you through a deep system of tunnels and caves. What's interesting to you is that as you're walking by, you might have expected a more active series of tunnels based on what Flip and the other dwarves told you, but there aren't many goblins around. It's actually quite sparse.
Hey, where is everybody?
Gragnar will explain.
It's a trap. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, Farkon. As we're walking, I sort of lean over to him. I'm like, we get in there, I will execute Farkon, disengage, you drop a fireball on the remainder, and we're done.
Farkon's
Like
like,
a good plan.
so
Simple.
in front of you there is a goblin who's clearly bent with time. He stands weakly to greet you. His loose-fitting clothing leans heavily on a tall staff. Everybody can make an insight check.
Oh, no.
Like, bent with age, you're like 30, 35, eh, friend? That's a 14.
8.
Oh,
I got a 20.
20, okay.
Oh.
Ooh. Rolled 13. It changes to a 20 with the plus 7.
Nice. All right, so Farkan and Thoron, you notice that he's quite a bit more active than he appears to be. The leaning on the staff, the slow movement is part of an act. Although he's not really giving you any sort of aggressive posture, he's just trying to deceive you about his capabilities. And he says, "What brings strangers to my warren? I hope you were treated well."
Well, like some guy locked us down here, so not really.
A goblin did that.
No, some guy.
Didn't know what he was exactly.
Yeah. Flip.
Yes.
What was his name?
Right, yes.
He
he said
specifically said not to mention him. So
No,
if you talk to him, maybe don't mention that we mentioned him.
I thought we were absolutely supposed to mention him and King Rooster, but yes, friend, we have met exactly one goblin who was quite helpful. We asked exactly once and they brought us straight to you, which is questionable security protocol, I must say. But yes, did you steal a giant hammer, roughly 2 gnomes worth sized hammer?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. And I pull both of my swords out.
Before you do that, perhaps I could show you something, and then you could stab me after.
Is it the hammer?
I'm from Raven's Bluff. I've heard this before. I'm not falling for it again.
It's yes, but here's the one problem, Doctor. I'm with you. We should just kill him because he's going to die. But if we kill him now, we won't know on the off chance it was vital exposition.
All right. But if he shows you something you're going to regret.
I know.
You will be quite right, friend dwarf. You will be quite right.
And you can haul what's left of us to the war.
I know the rule is never let yourself be taken to a second location, but I promise you, it will be worth it. He walks through the side of the of the cavern and pushes aside a tapestry, revealing a stone corridor leading you to a different spot. He's sort of huffing and puffing, but the two of you who made the insight check know that is just an act. He maintains a fairly steady pace, but you hear in the distance the sound of flowing water. You look up, but as far as you can see, as you enter this watery cavern, you can't tell where the roof of the vault begins. You hear the echo of something plunging into the water a distance away, and he sort of opens his hand like this, and he says, "This is the blood of the mountain. What do you see?" Everyone make a perception check, please.
The mountain bleeds water? What a curious thing.
My dice are so bad today.
Yeah, mine are failing me too.
Oof. Shout out to Libris Arcana, though, for the dice that are failing me.
Thank you
True.
so much.
You know, that's the mistake I made. I haven't been rolling them. Wait, let me.
There you go.
There you go. Switch them out, B-Dave.
There you go. I'm deploying the special equipment. Now you know it's serious.
Ooh, you're the same dice.
So nice.
They're sparkly and beautiful.
When they came in, I opened the envelope and my girlfriend looked at those. She's like, "What are those?" Like, "Those are for the stream." She's like, "Mine." I'm like, "No."
What are those? All right, hang on. There you go. Hey, now it's a 17. So there you go. All right.
So
that's how marriage works. Oh, mine.
What's hers is hers and what's mine is hers. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah. So anybody who got a 17 or higher, you're able to see that what he's calling the blood of the mountain is actually a vast body of water. And there's two things that catch your eye. The first is what appears to be a pole sticking out of the surface of the water about 30 feet away from you. And as you walk closer to the edge, what you notice is that beyond about 30 feet surrounding this pole, the water is covered by a thick black film. But 30 feet around the pole toward the bank and outward, the water seems clear and free of film. And Gragnar says, pointing specifically to Strick, because I wanted you to see the blood of the mountain. The sky metal poisons it, and goblins die. Kandrin is greedy. He does not listen. He speaks only for himself, not many of the honorable dwarves who live in the Gravenbeard clan. But
he's a real cock.
Yes, his nickname is Rooster. He does not like that nickname.
I, for one, am shocked.
Would you say that you haven't found a way to kill the rooster yet?
He don't die.
We are at peace, and despite our breach of the peace, the hammer was born of the mountain. It keeps the blood pure, at least pure enough so we can drink it. We didn't want to break our agreement, but...
To be clear on what we're seeing, is the hammer in the water, and the hammer is purifying the water?
That's what it appears to be. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The water
specifically hate people who mess with nature. So me and the dwarves right now, yeah. I'm like, Strick, let's go mess them up.
So there's basically like a cove. And you can see to the bottom, it's only about 3 feet deep. What they've done is about 30 feet from the bank, they've put the hammer in the center of it. All the way between the hammer and the bank is completely free of film. 30 feet away from it, so about 60 feet around is clear water. And then beyond that, more or less as far as you can see, there's a thin black film that covers the water in every other direction.
Oh my gosh, I just realized. I think the dwarves are polluting this water.
Thank you for coming with us, Dr. Mordek. I appreciate you. Yes.
I feel like if we go back and tell the dwarves that the goblins are using the hammer to purify their water because they're poisoning it, the dwarves are going to be like, and we need this stuff and we don't care about the goblins. Like, I don't feel like we're going to get anywhere with them.
So what you're saying is my initial instinct to execute the dwarves was correct.
You said it.
But your initial instinct is to kill everything.
That's everything. I didn't try and kill any of you.
No. Assassins kill specific targets. It's merely a case of choosing the targets.
I bow to you, mighty cleric, in the wisdom of your words. Okay, so, friend, minor challenge. Here's the issue. We're being paid quite well to kill you for doing something that you have now admitted you did. So you do put me in a bit of a professional paradox right about now.
They're definitely the wronged party here, though. I will say.
I agree with Bo. I think we have no choice but to snuff the rooster.
Oh, maybe he will die. Okay, but to be clear, we've walked some distance for me to do not murder again. So, friend Goblin here. Gragnar, I assume what you're asking is for them to stop shifting their tailings down here and polluting your water supply. That's more or less what you're asking for?
I've asked Kandrin to stop, but he says that the clan relies on the wealth generated by the sky metal. Although, if you're open to a proposal...
Yeah, dude.
Go on.
Wonderful. The sky metal grows from the heart of the mountain. It is forbidden for my kind to visit this holy place. The very root of the sky metal is said to have begun there. When the Gravenbeard clan first settled Trollheart Barrow, my people tried to discourage them. We knew that the sky metal was poison. We'd faced its peril before, but they did not listen. At best, we thought that this peace would preserve us for some time. But now, if I was to show you its effects, you would be afraid. But I digress. The heart of the mountain, we've never seen it, but legend says it is the source of the sky metal. If you go there, if you determine the source of the poison, perhaps you could heal the sky metal. Perhaps we goblins could survive without asking the dwarves for help. Because as that smart one said, and he glances and points, they will never give up their wealth.
Compromise. Let's do that thing, but then also kill the rooster.
It's not the worst plan I've ever heard.
Can you show us the way to this heart?
Show you? I cannot.
Oh, yes. Friend, these ribs right here, you just slightly, a slight upward and a little twist. And
Gragnar raises his hand and says, I am very uncomfortable right now.
Oh, you should be. I've been sent to kill you, and I'm 50-50 on it still. So, yes, if you show us to the heart of my more altruistic companions here, seem to want to investigate for you.
I cannot show you there myself. As I said, goblin kind are forbidden from visiting it. But I can give you 2 boats. The blood flows to the heart. Follow the blood, and you will find the heart. But do not drink the blood. It is poison.
Grognak, question. If one of us was to fall into the water, what would happen?
The sky metal, when you touch it, if your will is not strong enough, it begins to hollow you out from the inside. It sinks its claws into your soul and pulls apart all of the things that make you who you are. It It makes you less until you become nothing but a shell. The lucky ones find a place somewhere between life and death, just being lethargic, but some become automatons trapped in an impending cycle of survival and death.
So stay in the boat.
Yes.
I know in orcish mead they serve at the yawning portal that will do that to a person after 2, maybe 3 cups.
This is quite different, although this is maybe where they got the recipe. Hard to say.
Farkhan, I know you have a reputation for swimming like a fish boy, but you heard apparently the water is death.
Yep, I won't jump in. Don't worry.
And in this area, you should be safe. There are no predators that we know of.
That we know of.
Yes, nothing plies our cove. What would you like to do next? Would you like to ask him some more questions? Shadows, do you have any questions for Gragnar before you make a final decision?
I mean, it's a pretty compelling story they've told us. So has the poison always been in the sky metal?
Yes. As far back as my people can tell, Tallest Gravenbeard was the first to discover and distribute the sky metal. But my people tried to tell him then that it was poison. But no one spoke our tongue, or if they did not understand what we were trying to say. They distributed the metal anyway. We tried to convince them, but goblins do not make compelling witnesses. They dismissed us. They said we didn't know what we were talking about, and this was the best deal we were going to get. Of course we accepted it, because what choice did we have? The goblins were far more powerful than we. And for the last 200 years or so, our clan has lived in this arrangement, and for the most part it's been fine, but now the water is too polluted for us to even drink. Were I to show you those afflicted by the hollow plague, you would understand where our forlorn nature rises.
Yeah, you took us through that one.
Yeah.
We got that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him. That sounds gross.
It is
Yes,
quite awful.
And it's your hope that somehow whatever we find in the heart of the mountain will not only stop the pollution, but perhaps also reverse their plight? Or have you accepted there's no hope for them?
We have not accepted that there is no hope. We are ever hopeful. But we are not optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, if we could heal the sky metal and prevent the dwarves from continuing to pollute the water, or at the very least allow us to keep the filter that we found, we will at least have a future, even though we don't have much of a past.
I'm convinced.
Okay. All
Totally
right.
help them out.
So if all of you are convinced, why don't we take a quick 5-minute break? To those watching, the stream is going to go down. As I mentioned, we did have some technical difficulties. I don't have a be right back or coming soon stream available for you, but we will drop the stream for 5 minutes and we'll be right back while we get drinks, take bio breaks, and get the last part of this adventure ready for you. And don't forget, boons and banes for the party. Not to say that they need them, but they're going to need them. Thanks, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. We're back from our break, and we're excited to delve deep into the heart of the Earthfast Mountains in Trollheart Barrow. Before we continue, I did get the message. I understand that a donor has requested Flip sing a song. Let It Go was the request that I was provided, and it was a matching donation. So 2 people donated to see this. I promise I will do that at the end, but I won't disrupt the game now, and Flip's not here anyway. So
He's frozen.
Ah.
Yo. You're provided 2 boats. Each of them has 1 set of oars. There's enough room for 3 of you to sit comfortably. What would you like to do?
I would get in one of them, not both.
That seems like a good plan, Thorond.
I'll get in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in the one that Strick doesn't get in because
Oh, I think, yeah, I'm going with
I have a
Strick.
feeling
We have
he
a
doesn't
plan
like
for
me.
some
It's true.
goblin fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a boat and I'm holding on to the shore. Our shore.
Very good. Very good. I have some bad news for one of you. Chat has decided to provide one of you a bane. And it is going to be Farkan. Farkan, to your next Constitution saving throw, you take a -1. You dislike cardio, and it shows.
Well, I don't do cardio anyway, so.
You're a wizard. Yeah.
I must admit, I was fully expecting him to row, and then we get in, and I sort of look at him, and I'm like, "Oh, yes, you're a thinker."
So as you're rowing deeper through the blood of the mountain, you find that the flow of water is gradually taking you toward the direction that the dwarven the goblin chieftain directed you to. But after about 30 minutes of travel, things are uneventful and the water is peaceful. But Strick, from your scabbard emerges a loud shrieking as if something approaches, and we shall roll initiative.
Ooh.
So exciting.
This is my first roll with my Libris Arcana D20. Oh, and that is a good roll. You guys are not going to like that.
18 for me.
Okay, 18. So, Bo gets 18. Farkan, what'd you get?
I got 12.
12. Okay. Okay. Shadows across rooftops.
What 20?
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Cat-like reflexes.
Okay. Thorond, how about you?
16, but it says here I have a modifier of -1, so 15.
Okay. Very good. Dr. Mordek.
I rolled a straight up 10 on my new Libris Arcanus die.
Nice. Dr. Mordek gets a 10. And Strick, what about you?
22.
20. Okay.
Ooh.
So, Strick, you think that there's something silently approaching you from the water as your short sword lets out a yelp of warning, but you can't quite see it yet.
I just I literally I kind of put down the oars and very calmly pull out both swords and just stand there and kind of close my eyes like I'm listening, and I will hold my action until it reveals itself because I have to hit it before it hits anybody else.
All right, sounds good. Okay, Shadows Across Rooftops, you're next. So Strick's weapon of warning has yet out a yelp. You know something is coming, but you can't see it yet. It's almost as though there's a shadow beneath the watery film. What would you like to do?
Other than peer over and hope I don't fall in, I am going to ready my crossbow.
Okay. Sounds good.
If something pops out of the water, I'm gonna shoot it.
Bo, you're up next. You know something is coming, but you can't quite see it yet.
Okay, so how do I know how deep the water is around us?
Around you, it's hard to tell. You know that in the cove, it was only a few feet deep, but now, even through the film, you can't see down to the bottom of the water.
Okay, I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay.
On the off chance that it works.
Okay.
We'll see, because I've been alerted to this danger.
Yep.
So I would like to cast Spike Growth.
Okay.
which means that from the surface of, from the floor of the bed of gross water,
Yep.
spikes pop up in a 20-foot radius.
Okay.
And if anything is underneath them when they pop up, they do 2d4 piercing damage.
Okay. Roll your damage just for no particular reason.
Okie dokie, okie dokie. My spell attack bonus is +6, and my spell casting ability is wisdom. So I rolled a 16.
All right.
Yes, 16.
Okay, that is a success. How much damage do you do?
Hang on. What did I say that was? 2d4. Okay. Here we go. Hang on, I gotta roll it.
Yep.
So, I do 3 damage.
3? Okay.
So not like a lot,
It's
but a non-zero amount.
It's something.
So yeah, Bo stands up and is like, ah! And the water is like disrupted.
We have gotten another boon. Dr. Mordek,
Yes.
once you can forego rolling an attack and instead choose to make an attack of your choice a critical hit. As you strike, time slows and all eyes everywhere are watching you, and you know for certain that no attack anywhere has ever looked cooler.
Oh,
I'm going to cause an aneurysm.
Okay, so emerging from beneath the shadow of the water, you see what looks to be 2 emaciated trolls rising up, their skin a bluish gray. But the thing you noticed most immediately is their eyes are completely black. They almost regard you dispassionately, even as they pursue you. So everyone who took a ready to action, so Strick and Shadow, you can make your attack rolls. Bo, you can clearly see that they did swim through your spiked growth, so it was shallow enough for them to be affected, as even though you see it regenerating because they're trolls, they are wounded.
okay.
It's close. Is one of them close enough
It's
to
coming right up to your boat. Yep.
Is a 21 enough to hit?
Yes.
Then I do 18 points of damage.
Okay. And crossbow shot from shadows across rooftops.
A 7's gonna hit, right?
Yeah, I don't have a boon
Hit
that
me.
adds +10 to your bonus.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're gonna scare it a little.
A warning shot. Well played.
So your boats are sort of like this, and the trolls are coming down at you like this. And those of you in this first boat notice that they both go under your boat. But what you don't see is it emerge as the other one comes this way, and they both buck up under your boat, trying to drive you out of it. May I have an acrobatics check or an athletics check, your choice, please? From each of you.
18.
Remember your bones, y'all.
Yeah, if you have boons, please use them.
That is a 19
Okay.
for me.
Both of those are successes.
Cool.
I got a 20.
You got a 20. That is a success.
And 14.
14.
Almost as if you have cat-like reflexes.
Ha!
Inspiration.
Jerry.
How much?
16.
Okay.
I got a 7.
A 7. Bo, what did you get?
I got a 14.
Okay. Bo and Farkan, both of you are knocked out of the boat as these massive trolls just lean under and propel you up into the air. Everybody else is more or less fine. They're able to regain their balance, but you two both fall in the water. You are now treading water, trying to keep your head above the black film atop it. Thoron, it is now your go.
I'm going to glare at the nearest troll
Mhm.
and say, as Tempest doth bring me fame, taste flame! And I'm going to hurl my Sacred Flame cantrip.
All right. That is a saving throw for me, right?
Yeah, DC 15 Dex saving throw.
Okay. 1 fails. I'm sure I don't have a plus 14 bonus, so
Okay, 2d8 radiant damage.
nice.
And it's a cantrip. I can do it again. I can do it again. I mean, Tempest allows.
Tempest.
But that's my round.
Okay. How much damage did you do for the 2d8? I didn't hear. Sorry.
Oh, let me let me do the roll.
Okay.
I was leaving that for you. But hey, let's have fun. Ooh. Oh, I like this game. 12.
Oh my goodness. You burn a hole straight into the side of it, and any other creature might shriek, but it doesn't even regard you with a look. Farkan, it is your go. You are treading water in the inky pool of the blood of the mountain. May I have a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh.
9.
9. So as you're treading water, the film gets sort of in your mouth and your nose, and you sort of feel your insides getting lighter, almost as though you're becoming more lethargic, and you care less about more or less everything. You take 3 points of charisma damage. Your charisma score goes down by 3.
Whoa.
Well, I didn't have much to be bad. So.
Arcan seems less pretty.
Mordek, it's your go. What would you like to do? There are 2 trolls in the water, as are 2 friends. Oh, did your badger make an acrobatics check, Bo?
Oh, no, but he should. His d20 fell on the floor, but it was an 18.
18 is totally fine. Your badger sort of looking over the boat is like, what's up with you?
Uh-oh.
All right. So Mordek waves his hands a little and says, I draw upon the bells of hell upon thee, troll, the one that Thorond hit.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm assuming an 8 is not going to succeed.
It is not.
All right.
And as Mordek starts to do a little air guitar, troll takes 7 points of damage.
Okay. That one is looking quite wounded, actually. Strick, it is your go. Top of round 2. The one that you've been fighting has been railed on by your allies, and it's looking quite hurt.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and have a word with that one. Is 19 enough to hit it?
Yes, it is.
All right. So the first attack deals 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And then the second attack does 5 more points of damage.
And that is enough to knock it unconscious. It sort of slumps in the water. Shadow,
I'll come back for you.
what would you like to do?
I'm going to cast Bless
Okay.
on Farkan, and who else is still in the water?
Bo.
Bo and your badger, just in case.
Appreciated.
Hopefully y'all will be able to get out.
Okay. That's great. The troll. It's Bo. Bo, it's your turn. May I have a wisdom saving throw, please?
Mm-hmm. I rolled a 19. I rolled a 23.
Yeah, the hollowing feeling that Farkan described as he was choking underneath this film is nothing to you. You resist it completely. It's no fear for you whatsoever.
I'm like, it's disgusting, and I immediately turn into a giant octopus as a bonus action.
Nice.
So I am now a giant octopus with 52 hit points, and a lot more strength than my character has normally. And since I can transform as a bonus action, I still have an action,
Yes.
which means I get to kick the crap out of this other troll.
Yes, yes.
So I am going to use tentacles. This is going some places I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
It's +5 to hit. It has a reach of 15 feet at one
Yep.
target.
Okay.
It does bludgeoning damage, and if the target is a creature, it is grappled
Ooh.
with an escape of DC 16.
Okay.
So, plus what I'm going to roll to hit.
Yep.
And that is a 18.
18 is a hit. Their armor class does not look that high.
Okay. So damage is 2d6 plus 3.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and roll that. We've got 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 3 is so 8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And it is now grappled unless it makes an escape DC of 16.
Okay. Well, it does not look very anxious to escape.
Okay.
I mean, on
So
the
you
one-
are restrained.
Ah, I am restrained. Okay. That is a different story. Then I am going to try and break free. It is.
You're like, I kind of want to be.
Yeah, it's like you're not locked in.
Bundled by
I'm not
this.
locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. No,
I'm into that.
Okay, no, he is. Oh wait, no. It's an athletics check.
It says escape DC 16.
Okay.
Yeah, athletics.
Yeah, he does manage to break free of your tentacles, but
Okay.
only barely. He did take all the damage though. And it is his turn. He does not like seeing an octopus in his waters, so he is going to attack you 3 times, twice with his claws and once with his bite. I'm assuming that a 13 is probably not going to hit an octopus.
No.
Okay, but I'm assuming that a 24 will
Yep.
and a 20 will.
Yep.
Okay, so basically he hits you with one tearing claw and his bite, which in some ways might be more terrifying because as he sinks his teeth into the octopus's flesh, you feel something again. Make me another wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. My wisdom stays the same. 18.
Oh, 18. Yeah, you're totally fine. You don't even know what anybody's worried about. You're just like, this is fine. I feel great about this. But you do take 8 points of damage from the bite and 7 points of damage from the claw.
Okay.
And Strick, you're paying close attention to the troll that you attacked because I get the sense that you know something about trolls, but this troll does not seem to be regenerating. Thorond, it's your go. There is one troll left which is dueling with a giant octopus that has appeared in the water.
Well, I'm going to Sacred Flame it
Okay?
because I can do that without any danger of harming Bo the octopus.
Okay, that is a failure. So roll me your damage.
Oh, thank you to Libris Arcana for these lovely dice. 14, 2 sevens. I like.
It's killing me. It's killing me, literally. Okay, so this radiant damage, and Thorond, what you notice when you use this radiant damage on it, you've been watching this battle for a while. You're quite a seasoned adventurer. You notice that the only reactions that these creatures are giving is when you're attacking them with radiant damage. It's almost like it's burning them on the inside. Farkhead, it is your go. What would you like to do?
Am I close enough to a boat to get back in?
Absolutely. You could spend some of your movement to try and get back in. I do need you to make a saving throw, though.
Yeah. 20.
Oh, yeah. You're like, no, this is fine. Everything's fine. So make me an athletics check to try and get into the boat. Which boat would you like to get into? The first boat or the second boat? The one that Strick and Shadows are in, or the one that Mordek and Thorond are in?
Yeah, I think I'll get back in the one with Strick and Shadow.
Okay, go for it.
9.
9. Does anybody have an athletics boon that they would like to pass on to Farkan?
Yes, I will say that's very stylish.
Dr. Mordek passes a +1 athletics bonus to you, which conveniently is just enough to get into the boat. The DC was 10, so you scramble up, kicking your legs, breathing heavily, and now Strick and Shadows must make acrobatics check to ensure that you pulling up into the boat does not knock them into the water.
Well, hang on one second. Did you remember to roll your bless Farcon on that?
Oh, he made it in. It's okay. You guys can...
Well, what I mean is that you may not be necessary to use up the athletics boon if the bless would have been enough for him to make it.
That is true. You're completely right. So you don't have to trade in your athletics boon. The D4 is enough at the minimum, so you're able to crawl in, and you still have +1 to athletics to use at a future time.
13.
Oh yeah, that is enough. It is not a high DC. Shadows?
I got an 11.
Yeah, you think that you're almost on the cusp of falling in, but then you're like, I'm a cat.
A cat, my tail.
Yep.
Got a rudder. Yeah.
All right, but Farkan, that was just your movement. You still can take an action. Would you like to cast a spell against the troll?
Are we trying to kill these trolls? I assume so.
Yes, everybody's attacking them with murderous intent. It's almost like Strick has rubbed off on them.
Nice. Would I be able to throw a firebolt?
Absolutely. Yep.
I'd like the record to show I have killed significantly less things today than I have killed. So
That's probably true.
Far be it from us to get in the way of your total.
All right, Farkan, what'd you get?
What thing do I add? Arcana?
You add your attack bonus, so it'll be +6 to whatever you roll on the 20-sided.
Yeah, so 17.
Okay, 17 is absolutely a hit. You can sizzle this puppy. Roll a d10 and let me know what you get.
Wait, let me remember which one that is. Sorry, I've only played.
That's okay. Totally
once.
Cool. They look like this. There's one that has like single numbers. It's kind of like a diamond. And there's one that has, where's the other D10? I don't have it here for some reason. Oh, yeah. And there's one that has like tens and stuff on it. So you can just roll that one time and tell me what the total is.
Oh, is it the one with tens?
Yeah.
Okay. 40.
40. Okay, so that's 4 points of damage. But that is actually enough. The octopus and the radiant damage softened it up enough that it just sort of gradually floats to the surface, slain. Bo, you're easily able to crawl back up into the boat without a further damage as your octopus self.
I would like to re-become my normal self.
Oh, okay. You don't want to crawl into the boat as an octopus?
I mean, I do want to crawl into the boat. I want to start crawling into the boat as an octopus and then be like, this is not going to work out, and then I'll change back.
Totally done. So you're able to crawl back up in. It's no issues.
I make a point to cut off both heads. Like it's nothing, like and then toss it back in.
Just being safe.
One of those heads before you.
Wow.
Yes, you've got to get ahead in this world.
Absolutely. There you are. Although I can say with some authority, it was not an aneurysm that killed it.
I will be the judge of that.
Not this time.
Hey, true. Could have been mere moments before. Yes.
Yes.
Either way, it's the only way to be sure. And then just
Strick, you saved it from death by aneurysm. You got in first.
I granted it a warrior's death. It will go to the halls of Troll Hollow or wherever it goes. Glorious.
Just a point of clarification from a DM's perspective, Strick. Does cutting off its head mean you cured it of an aneurysm?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Naturally.
It did not die from the aneurysm.
It did not. So after a few hours, you continually follow the path of the blood. Eventually, you hear the soft rushing of water. Nothing to be alarmed about. But it seems as though there's a plateau coming ahead of you. And the water flows under it, almost as if the blood is flowing into the heart. You're able to set the boats up in a pretty safe spot on this on this stone plateau. In the center of it, about 60 feet away from you, you see a large metallic deposit. In the phosphorescent glow of the moss all around you, you see black streaks. Does anyone have Arcana? Intelligence
Yes.
Arcana. Yes, please. Anyone that has it may make a check.
8.
An 8, okay.
4.
4, okay.
14.
14, okay.
You have successfully disbelieved, Thoron.
Okay. Everybody except Dr. Mordek doesn't really notice anything. But Mordek, you feel like something is off about this place. You can't tell exactly what. It's almost like something is pulling at the fabric of what you can see, but without a deeper investigation, you aren't going to be able to tell what it is.
Oh, this sandwich is not sitting all on my stomach. Something's not right about this place.
Just now, you've arrived at the conclusion that something's not right about this place.
Well, listen, I thought we were close enough as friends. I could share my thoughts and my feelings.
No, it's completely valid. Completely valid. Yes, your path is your path.
Thank you.
Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
I feel validated. Thank you.
I feel good that we're all sharing. Could everyone make me a perception check, please?
Love these dice. 19.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait a minute. Is there a modifier?
Yeah, I have a big old 9. You know. Like,
Observant.
Ooh,
14.
plus 4. So I'm 23.
Okay. Bo, what'd you get?
14 for
14?
me.
Okay.
although my passive is 16.
Oh, okay.
And doesn't Bo have a crazy high passive?
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Yeah, my passive is 21.
Farcan, what'd you get?
I got a 10.
Okay. Shadows?
I got an 11.
Okay. So it's more than enough for a couple of you to see, and you draw the attention that it looks like this metal is very similar to the sky metal that you saw above, but it clearly looks closer like the larger pieces of ore that were being smashed in the steam hammers than the little pieces that the dwarves were working by hand. Arrayed around the base of this, however, are the desiccated remains of goblins. The interesting thing that you notice is that there's maybe 10 or 12 of them arrayed in a circle. All of them look desiccated and hollow, as if they were devoured from the inside out. All except one.
I've seen this before.
Is
Aneurysm?
this what an aneurysm looks like?
Yes, I'm afraid so. If you've read my latest paper, Aneurysms by Mordek, chapter 11.
Chapter 11 was the best chapter. If I may, friends, would you indulge me the quick opportunity to do what it is that I do?
Yes.
But they're already dead.
Maybe. I would like to stealth
Yes?
over
Yep.
towards this thing. So I got a 22 on my stealth.
Yes.
And not to be too meta, but I won't bother rolling the dice if this is really dead. So if this is a foe, I'm gonna light it up.
Okay.
And if it is just a corpse,
It is just a corpse. But as you get over there, I'm going to give you because of your stealth was so high and you're really paying attention to this thing, I'm going to waive the investigation check. You can clearly see that this goblin is completely different than the others for some reason. All of them look almost like they were dried out in the sand for many years, sort of hollow from the inside. This one is clearly dead, but not nearly as the same way as the others. And you notice that there's actually something in its pocket.
The other
What
thing
has
I
it
do.
got in its pocket?
Yeah.
Or is he just happy to see you?
It's true. I do have that effect on goblins. I check and see what's in his pocket.
So you withdraw. It looks like a medallion of some kind. Does anybody have religion, intelligence religion?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I glide back over and I just kind of like reappear behind them. He's dead, but he had this.
Oh, love these dice. Thank you, Libris Arcana. Okay.
19.
Yeah. 19 with my modifier.
So all of you instantly recognize that this is a holy symbol of Lathander, who's the god of birth and renewal. His domains include light and healing. And Amy, you have been granted a major boon from Legendary Pants. You sense something odd, like a glitch or a mistake of some kind. It's almost like you can see the world, but it's not the world you know. After initiative is resolved, once you can increase or decrease your result by 2.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's fancy. Thank you.
Those pants are legendary.
So, yeah, it's the goblin is clearly not not killed in the same way as the others, and he had this holy symbol of Lathander in his pocket. And Strict, as you walk around, you saw something out of the corner of your eye. You weren't looking for it, but you did see. It was almost like a tendril of black something licking at the back of the metallic ore deposit.
Oh, I stealth over towards it.
Okay. As you stealth over towards it, you get about 40 feet away, and what you notice, you don't really recognize it. You can't understand it, but it looks like a tear of some kind. It's like a hole, like somebody slashed an opening in a piece of black fabric. All you can see is the deepest, darkest black that you could ever imagine. It's like the darkest night that no dark vision can pierce.
I look up and around for any living thing that I can execute before I bring them over to investigate this.
At this time, you see nothing to execute.
I kind of come back over and I get like super close in Farcan's ear, and I'm like, there seems to be a rift of some sort over there. Perhaps you mystical types might investigate.
Yep, I'll go investigate it.
All right. So, Farcan, you can advance. And I would like you to make an Arcana check. But because Dr. Mordek was able to give you a few hints that there's something wrong, I'm going to let you roll that check with advantage, which means you get to roll the d20 twice and add your Arcana check to the higher result.
Okay. First one. Okay, I'll do that. So 23.
It's almost as though you understand everything that's happening at once. You can tell instantly that this portal is extraplanar in nature, and you're thinking, the blackness, the dark wisps, it has to lead to the plane of negative energy, to the void. As you're over there, you see clearly what Strick described. It's almost like a wisp of black air leading directly toward the metallic ore deposit. It's almost like the two are connected, the rift and the deposit of ore. But as you're over there looking, you're getting closer and closer to the rift. It's almost as though your sight can't penetrate it. It's so dark, but you feel something emerging from it. the rift pulses for a moment and emerges a creature of your nightmares. It has multiple beady black eyes, tentacles of pure negative energy licking at the air in front of it, with massive razor-sharp pincers snapping at you.
Gad's a politician.
A guttural roar shakes the cavern as the creature exits fully, looking at you, Farkan, in particular, and then at your fellows, its eyes snapping back and forth. And then another emerges, and we will roll initiative.
Nope.
11 for me.
Okay.
21.
Jeez. Okay. Strick gets 21. Ever since you changed to the Libris Arcana dice, you can't roll low, Strick.
The advantage. That's the good thing about having advantage on initiative.
Yep. Bo, you got 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shadows.
17.
Shadows got a 17. Okay. Farkan.
I got a 16.
16. Okay. Mordek.
A big 5.
Cleric initiative for Dr. Mordek. And for Thorund.
Got 12 after my modifier, which took it down from 13.
Oh,
Okay.
Did so heroically.
So these two creatures are snapping at the air with their pincers, looking at all of you close enough to strike. But what's clear to all of you is that much like the black wisp that is leading to the ore deposit, so too do each of these creatures have some sort of tether to the rift. Amy, do you have any bonus that you'd like to use? Or any boon?
No, I'm going to stay right where I am.
Okay, Strick, you are first. In front of you, you see two massive creatures. They look perhaps what you might describe as a chul, but something far darker, infused with negative energy from the void.
Is a 25 enough to hit it?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Then I did 19 points of damage.
Mhm.
And since I'm not quite sure what exactly we're up against just yet, after I stab it, I'm gonna use my cunning action to hide.
Oh, yes,
So I'm
very
just like
good.
a bit, bam.
You disappear, and you can tell its eyes are like focused on you, and then you wink out of existence, and it's lost you completely. It's now paying more attention to your allies. Shadows, what would you like to do?
Other than run away screaming, I would like to. Oh gosh, I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay, absolutely.
Good. I feel like I need to light this place up. It's so dark and creepy. So I'm going to. There's only one creature.
There's two.
Right? With multiple tentacles.
No,
two.
there's
Okay.
two creatures. Both of them are tethered to the thing.
Okay. Can I aim at the tether?
Absolutely.
Okay, of the one that Strick hit.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a nat 20, you guys.
woo!
I need more dice. All right, so I'm gonna roll 8d6 radiant damage.
Yep. This is gonna hurt.
Ha 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 ha. All right. I lost track. 23 points of radiant damage.
23 points of radiant damage. Your guiding bolt drives straight into the tether. And almost effortlessly, you sever it.
Yes.
The rift and the creature are now separated, and the creature looks lost, as if it doesn't know quite what to do, as if its guidance is now gone. Farkan, what would you like to do?
So do we want to attack the creature still, or like since they look confused? I don't know exactly.
So
They are not friendly creatures.
that is fair to say.
I'd say, I'll throw another firebolt at them.
Firebolt, okay.
Yeah.
So roll your d20 plus a 6.
16 plus 6, so 22.
Yeah, your firebolt is easily able to hit them. Now, I'm assuming you're going to hit the one that B. Dave and Amy were targeting?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I rolled the D10 one.
Yep.
Okay, that was an 80.
Oh, jeez, okay. Your fire sizzles at its flesh, its dead eyes regarding you painfully. Bo, you're up.
Okay, so I would like to. I'm watching all this go down, and I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. So I cast Moonbeam,
Okay.
which is a 5-foot by 40-foot cylinder of light.
Yep.
Okay, I want to try it and make it touch as many of these dudes and the portal as possible.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, wherever you want to put it.
Yep.
They must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or they will be affected by 2d10 radiant damage. But even if they save successfully, they still get 1d10 radiant damage.
Okay.
And there's disadvantage to shapeshifters. So I'm not sure if these guys count as shapeshifters.
They do not count as shapeshifters.
Okay.
Both of the creatures fail. So it's basically like a scalpel made of radiant energy. You slice through the tether that's still connecting the one creature to the rift. You slice through the tether that's connecting the metal to the rift. The Chul, who is now separated, almost is like the voice that it's been inside of its head for eternity, is gone. And it looks lost and unsure of what to do. Roll your 2d10 damage for each of them, please.
Uh-oh, I feel like I'm about to hurt something I shouldn't hurt. Whoops! 3, 8 total.
Okay, so they roar in agony. Thorund, it's your go.
Sacred Flame to the first one.
Okay.
The one that was first severed.
Got it.
So it needs a DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
For a large creature, it's surprisingly dexterous. Your sacred flame appears in front of it, and it's so enraged it rears up and claps its pincers in the air. It made the save. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Therefore, I do it no damage.
Okay.
I'm going to channel divinity.
Okay.
Guided strike for later.
Sounds good. My go. So I can't see B Dave, but I can see everyone else. All right. So Dr. Mordek, one of the massive creatures, comes forward and starts trying to grip you with its pincers. And it rolls a... yes, the Libris Arcana dice are more in favor of the party than the DM. I rolled a 2 with the first attack, but with the second, yes, I rolled a 21. Will that hit you, Dr. Mordek?
Yes, I'm a physician, not a acrobat.
The pincers come down on you, bludgeoning damage, crushing you in your armor like a can, and you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
I disbelieve.
However, its negative energy tentacles don't seem to get purchase because it did not have an attack to do so. The second creature attacks, but who? Who is the question? Bo. It looks at you and rears up, slapping at you with 2 claws and hitting AC 18 and AC 19 and AC 23.
They both hit.
Oh, yes. Yes, very good. So you take 7 points of damage from the claw, and you are now grappled. As you're grappled, its negative energy tentacles try and snap at you to drain your life force. Please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okie dokie. 13.
13. You
Oh, wait. It's a saving throw?
Yes, it is.
I have +2 on all wisdom saving throws, so 15.
15. I don't need my D4 after all. I got excited.
Oh, I was so close.
The hollowing out of your spirit begins to overtake you, and then all of a sudden you remember something somebody once said, and you're like, "No, I don't go in for this sort of behavior," and resist it completely. Dr. Mordek.
Wait, one thing before we move on. Moonbeam stays there for a full minute.
Yes.
And if a creature starts its turn in the moonbeam, it must again make a Constitution saving throw, or again take 2d10, or 1d10 damage if it fails.
One of them takes a d10. One of them takes 2d10. Would you like high or low? Which do you prefer? Which is good for you?
Low.
Okay. So it is low. So the one that failed is the one that had more damage on it. So you do 2d10 to the hurt one, 1d10 to the lesser one.
Okay, so the hurt one gets 9 damage, and the lesser one gets 3 damage.
Okay. Yep. They both took the damage. One of them saved, one of them failed. Dr. Mordek, you are grappled by...
No, I'm not. I am not grappled.
No, you're definitely grappled.
I am.
I was grappled.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep, you're right.
I am peachy keen.
Okay.
The one that's attacking me, does it look severely injured?
It does not.
Okay, then I am going to use my boon and do critical damage on my next spell attack on it.
Okay.
Which shall be a 2nd level guiding bolt.
Okay.
Which is 10d6 damage as a crit.
Ooh.
Yes.
So 14, 17, 18. Oh, that sucks. 18, 20, 26. 31 points of damage.
It rears up in pain, agony, as you burn it with radiant damage, its most heinous energy type. Do you have anything else you'd like to do after that big hero move?
I'll do a little jig.
Very good. Strick, you are hidden completely. No one can see you except perhaps Bo.
I will attack the one that is grappling Bo.
Okay.
I also rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
So...
Thanks.
For 27 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I hide again. Blam!
Wow. That one looks quite wounded. Strick. Shadows across rooftops. It is your go. What would you like to do?
Actually, could I ask just one quick question?
Course.
Sorry. I realize we have no objective way of realizing how hurt this thing actually is, but does it look like really, really hurt, or just like not doing too well?
It looks really, really hurt, as far as you can tell from a creature from the void.
Then I'm actually going to forego hiding and follow up with my second attack.
Sounds good.
See if I can finish it.
Okay.
Is a 19 enough?
It is absolutely a hit. Yep. How much damage did you do? That is the question.
He did all of the damage.
All of the damage. 12.
12 damage. With a mighty strike, you drive your short sword into the beast's maw. It releases Bo and falls to the ground. But it's curious. As it's dying, it's slowly deflating through the wound you made in its gullet, almost like a balloon that has air being let out.
Make a point not to inhale it.
Good call. Okay, Shadows, it's your turn.
As a free action, I'm going to call over to the coroner and ask, is this an aneurysm?
It is indeed.
I'm gonna have to copy your notes later. This is pretty weird. Seeing that my guiding bolt had done so well previously, I'm going to cast at the remaining shadow creature.
Okay.
That is a 16.
A 16 is enough. You think that had the tether still been attached, it would not have been, but it isn't.
Excellent. 11 plus 4 is 15 points of radiant damage.
You are just melting this thing.
Oh, and I forgot. The next attack roll made against it has advantage because now it's sparkling.
Aha, very good. All right, Farken, what would you like to do?
Is one of them? There's both still alive,
No,
right?
one of them is dead. Strick double tapped it and killed it almost by himself.
So there is one still alive then.
Yes, there is one still alive.
All right, then I'll shoot a poison spray at one.
Okay, so that is a dexterity saving throw, as I recall.
Yep.
It fails. Roll your damage. Your
Which
poisonous
poison?
gas bursts forth from your fingertips and it gets caught up in the spray. It doesn't react, though, nearly as much as when it's being pelted with radiant damage.
6.
6 to hit. Yeah, 6 damage. Okay. That one's looking pretty hurt, too. Anything else you'd like to do?
Would I be able to maybe use detect magic to see what the sort of rift and things are?
You can do it after combat. Right now is probably not the best time because you just cast poison spray.
Well struck, friend wizard. Well struck.
Your poison seemed to have a significant effect on it. It's almost like acidic. Its skin is bubbling. Even though it's not reacting, you can tell it was a good hit. Bo, it's your go.
Yeah, screw it. I'm grappled right now.
You are.
I turn into a bear
Okay.
as a bonus action.
Okay.
Wait, I thought I killed the one that was grappling her.
Oh yes, you killed the one that was grappling her. It's the one
Yeah.
that's not grappling her that
Right.
is.
I turn into a bear anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
don't- it doesn't-
innately valid. Yes, to
Yeah.
That is the
always
right
beat the
answer.
bear. Yeah.
So that's a bonus action for me. So now I get to do an action, which
Yes.
is exciting. So I'm going to do a multi-attack, which means I make 2 attacks, one with my bite and one with my claws. So I'm going to do, bite and then claws.
Based on your rolling, this will end poorly for my poor tool.
Okay, so this is, let me see, 19.
That is a hit.
Okay, there was +5 to hit on that, so there was
More than enough.
yeah. Okay, so damage for bite is 1d8 plus 4.
Okay.
Grab that. So 4 and 3 is 7.
Okay.
Then I'll roll for claws.
Awesome.
It's also +5 to hit. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Ooh,
Wow. Okay, that's a crit.
nice.
That's a crit, which means what for my damage? My damage is 2d6 plus 4.
It's 46 plus 4. It doubles the amount of dice that you roll.
46 plus 4. I'm going to be here for a while. 4 plus 3 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Plus 1 is 12. So I just make the most epic double claw attack you've ever seen. Like,
It looks
right at this thing. I'm very frustrated. And my badger is also doing that.
it looks very much like this creature is on its last legs. Thorin, what would you like to do? Can you push it over the edge?
I would like to fire a light crossbow bolt
All right.
into it.
Very good.
Yeah.
At plus 12 to hit. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah. 18 plus 12.
That a 30 hits. It's more than twice as much as you needed, Ed.
Ah, okay. So, oh yes, and then one of these. Wow, 7. I rolled an 8 minus 1, so it's 7. Thank you, Libris Arcana, for these dice.
And yet,
And yet, thank you.
your
And yet-
strike is more than enough to collapse this creature. The radiant damage and the claws and the flames. It falls to the ground, and it, like its compatriot, begins deflating, almost like a balloon. Farkan, now you can make yourself a detect magic.
Okay, cool.
And what the spell tells you is that you think you aren't quite powerful enough to close the rift. You think at this point it's too large for people of your ability to contain. However, you could reduce its influence by bombarding it by radiant and/or evocative healing magic. It would only be a stopgap measure. You wouldn't be able to close it, but you definitely think that you could minimize its influence for some time.
What about interpretive dance?
Strick, it certainly could not hurt. He tells you that for sure. So does anybody have anything they would like to do?
I would like to Sacred Flame it.
Very good.
Radiant damage on the rift.
Very good. You cast
Take no chances.
You cast radiant damage on the rift, and it gradually begins to reduce until it's just a small glowing ball of black energy. Its ability to draw in light from the surrounding area is definitely diminished. You think that you've done enough to mitigate its influence for the time being.
For the glory of Tempest.
As you turn around, all of you notice that at the base of the sky metal deposit, the inky black infusion is gradually beginning to crystallize and crack, almost as though severing the connection between the rift and the metal was enough to gradually bring the adamantine back into balance.
Are those dwarves going to be super mad at us for wrecking the source of all of their fortune?
Only if we
No.
tell them we did.
We were gonna kill that guy anyway,
Yes.
so it's
No,
kind of
yes.
whatever.
Yeah,
They won't be mad. They're going to be dead.
Well, I'm not a bear anymore. That's how I talk.
I feel like you should talk like that as a bear.
All right.
She barely got it out. Yes.
Oh, Ed.
Sorry.
Thank you all for tuning in. Yeah,
Yes,
we're just
well,
gonna,
you know,
we're done here. No, how do I turn this thing off? We're done. Yeah.
All right. So what would you like to do next? You have severed the tether between the rift to the void and the sky metal. What's next?
Well, we definitely haven't done enough damage here.
So, just to make sure we're all on the same page, it's a coin toss on whether or not I'm still killing the goblin, right? Because he did steal the hammer I was paid to kill him over. So,
Why do we need to kill that, or do we need to bring the hammer back, or what happens if they resist us to bringing the hammer back?
Well,
Then-
if the water is clear now, I feel like they shouldn't really need the hammer.
yeah,
But we could probably just take it.
and if they
We
resist,
did them a big fave. Like, we did
Yeah.
them a pretty big fave, so they owe us.
but
the
if they
hammer.
still want the hammer, then you could kill them because they would
Yes.
be interfering with your mission.
You got it.
acceptable. If we return the hammer, they can live. Okay, now, when we get back up to the top, the angry dwarves who somewhat brought this on upon themselves and is just kind of a douche, he dies.
Kill the
Technically, we
rooster! Kill the
are-
rooster!
He did just ask us to bring back the hammer, but was not specific as to how. So I do feel like we've sort of done what he asked. So he can't be that mad. Otherwise, we should kill him.
So acceptable.
So if Strix were to hurl the hammer at him,
No, a deal's a deal. We were sent to retrieve the hammer.
no, you would be returning the hammer, and
I
Also
like
killing
where
him.
your head's at. Yeah, we can workshop it while we're rowing back through hellish, poisonous waters that have yet to clear completely. Excellent. Excellent.
Shadows, Farkan, do you have anything to add to this interesting discourse?
I'm gonna stay pretty paws off because I didn't really come here to murder anyone either way. So maybe we could murder them after we get the books, though.
It's
Yeah.
not murder when you do it in the name of a god, or if you're an adventurer,
Yeah.
Crusade.
Or business.
or
Yes.
business
Right.
for certain of us.
Look. Consenting adults can engage in certain intimate practices based on an exchange of currency. It is completely fine. It has been a practice that has lasted for untold centuries across cultures, really.
And Mordek wrote a book about it. The Art of Inducing Aneurysms.
It was peer reviewed.
Again, chapter 13, very thrilling. The plot twist in 14, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, yes.
I'm a master of suspense.
It slays them.
That's the plot twist.
Farkan, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just want to make sure that I get my spellbooks from the doors before we start killing everybody.
Before rampantly killing everyone in the Gravenbeard clan? Got it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not all of them, just the ones that deserve it. There may be a number of them that deserve it.
So you begin rowing back. And what you see is that as you row, the film on the water has not dissipated whatsoever. You continue rowing, and there's more or less no change in the water. In fact, it's just as dark as it was when you left, although as you continue to get closer and closer to the Goblin Cove where the blood of the mountain starts, you can see the hammer in the distance and the clear patch of water that it's cleansing in the 30-foot radius around it. And Gragnar is waiting for you on the bank, and he looks at you all expectantly, and he says, "What news? Did you find the heart of the mountain?"
I just slowly rotate towards Mordek.
The heart is
It had an aneurysm.
no longer pounding.
I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to explain it.
Thorand?
There is a darkness in everything. There's a crack. That's how the darkness gets in.
For every season.
There's a reason. Turn. Yeah. I see where you're going.
We almost closed the source of the darkness, but we lacked the strength to obliterate it and mend the rift.
Right.
However, you should be fine for some time.
And when you're not, pay us and we'll return.
So, the water near the heart is clear of the poison?
That would be strong.
It might be.
Clear.
Yeah, that would be a
Later.
strong stance, yes.
Later.
So
There is no more darkness issuing from the heart. How long?
Yeah, you gotta clear out this stuff, but then you're good to go. Really.
we don't have a Brita. It's not like we can just filter the water. It's poisonous.
You literally are filtering the water. That is happening.
Point of information. Yes, that's true. Using the artifact.
Okay, so
you're telling us you still need the hammer.
Well, here's what I suggest, if I may. Round up your remaining goblins, however dozens you've got. Have all of them bring all your ceramics, pots, pans, scoop all the water you can, and then we're going to leave with the hammer, and you won't get executed.
So, another point of information. you're going to, instead of executing us now, you're going to let us die slowly from the hollow plague because eventually the water will run out and we'll have to drink the poison.
No, I believe it's the doctor here explained quite clearly, as did my cleric associate here, that we have resolved your issue. It will return in time, but everything will return in time. And let's be honest, you're only going to live like 5 more years max, or 5 more minutes. That is completely up to you. But it's going to be fine. And then when it's not fine, deal with it then.
Goblins undertake this rampant ageism far too much. We live a robust and hardy life, sir.
Yeah, but it's just like the dwarves that cut this deal with you are still alive up there, and you're on like your 9th generation of goblins.
This is hardly the issue. The issue is, if you remove the artifact, eventually the poisoned water will kill us. Now, if you told me that doing whatever it is you did in the heart of the mountain cleansed the water at the edge of the heart, and eventually that cleansing would come to our cove and allow us to live, then I would say, great, we can wait a little while. We're not unreasonable folk. And yet there's some equivocation on the point of the water, which is what is more or less the core issue we are discussing.
Well, Shadows, is that not what we just said? Like, we stopped
So
it.
that's what we just said.
I feel
I'm like 99% sure that's what we just said.
I mean,
I got
you
a
are
plan.
a learned tabaxi. Perhaps you can explain it in a better way.
Can we borrow the artifact and go upstairs and use it to, I believe we were going to return it with force to the lead dwarves. And then when they're done with it, we bring it back. We'll clean it off first, and then we put it back in the water.
This seems like a very aggressive plan.
I
We're
mean, you know what?
adventurers.
Be fine, right?
We're a very aggressive bunch.
Yeah, we're adventurers. That's what we do.
Like, I know
I
didn't show you the people who drank the water, but dude, I could. It's bad.
I
We-
would like
we
to
saw.
see that, to be honest.
Am I missing something? I thought we cleansed the water and it's going to make its way down here, and then y'all are going to be fine.
So you point of clarification. You cleansed the metal, and the metal at the base began crystallizing. So the black streak in the metal would gradually make its way upward, but it didn't actually have an effect on the water. The water was still poisoned from all of the leavings that they've been chucking into it.
Can I just say, for a goblin, you have an excellent grasp of Robert's Rules of Order.
We've had many years to develop a system different than all the other goblins. After all, we didn't need to worry about pillaging or rampaging or stealing because we had this agreement with the dwarves. So we developed a system that worked better for us, and it seems to be going fine.
Hey,
What if
listen,
we
the
cast
goblin
like
parliamentary democracy, that's fantastic.
what if we cast like bless on the water? Will it get rid of the junk that's left on top since it won't like re-junk itself afterwards?
It's possible that a remove curse might temporarily have some
Ooh, and
effect.
I have one of those.
You could also
Yeah,
just
yeah,
try
yeah.
fire, Farkin. You could just alight the oil on the water. I'm sure that will.
burn it
also
off.
great. Also great.
If we convinced the dwarves to send their what were they called? The tailings. If we convince them to stop dumping the tailings down into their cavern, do you think that would
I
fix
mean,
the water problem?
it wouldn't cleanse the water that's already dirty, but it certainly wouldn't hurt us further. It wouldn't compound the problem, certainly.
All right. So maybe we need like a 2 or 3 prong attack.
Let me begin by casting Remove Curse on the
Love
water.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right in front of you, here and now, as a show of good faith.
sure.
When
Yeah.
she says 2 or 3 prong attack, I hide because I'm getting ready to stroke this dude.
I don't know how many daggers you had. Yeah.
You stroke in a different way. Very good. I shall cast Remove Curse on the water.
All right. So you cast Remove Curse on an area of the water, and it does make some difference. There does seem to be one shallow area about 10 feet square that is cleared of the black film, and you think that it might last for a little while. It's certainly not a permanent solution like the hammer is, but it's definitely better than a kick to the pants. You can tell that for sure.
I'll add that to the resume. Better than a kick in the pants.
All right, so you're going to get them to gather up their ceramics. You've cleansed the water with a Remove Curse. You are intent on taking this life-giving relic away from the goblins. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So you take it. They don't.
I appreciate that you're like, so you're going to be terrible. And we're like, yeah.
No. I'm just making sure that I understand what you are doing.
We're adventurers. It's what we do.
So you take the relic, and the goblins they don't have any hope of resisting your power, and you return to the surface without delay.
I will say, while we're going, I give Bo the relic, and I'm like, curveball, we could just go. Like, I mean, stop with the trimmings, tailings, leavings, whatever, but then you keep the magic hammer, and we just
like that.
leave.
Oh, dear.
Interesting. The other one's not magic is the thing. This one is magic. But I'm really, being a forest gnome, not a big fan of anybody who is disrupting the environment. So I do feel a moral responsibility to go tell the dwarves to stop with the tailings, unfortunately. But it's just barely edging out my desire for this sick hammer. It's very close. They're very, very close.
It looks very good in your hands, might I add. It just
thank you so much.
So as you knock on the door, Flip opens the key, and he's like, hey, so did you figure it all out? And he sees the hammer, and he's, oh, okay. So you solved the problem. Everything is peachy keen? Yeah?
It's definitely not peachy keen, my chicken guy.
better than a kick in the pants, I've been told. The results.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not the chicken guy.
You're all chicken guys
I'm
to
your,
me.
I'm your friend Flip. Remember, I'm the guy
I haven't
with the
seen
face.
you. I didn't
You're
see
no
you do
rooster,
any.
but you're a chicken.
Yeah, you didn't fight. You didn't help. Really, you seem to have had a lot of information that you did not act on. So
You're no rooster. You're no cock of the walk, buddy. You're just a
True.
chicken.
Just a chicken, Flip.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
are you upset about it? You should just let it go, friend.
Inspiration. But no, the truth is, all that is true. I'm not so much a hero as much as I am kind of the guy who's like, hey, go do this thing, good people. And if the good people say, no, this is where we're going to do it, I can't change that. Anyway, let me take you to the council because I'm sure they're going to want to talk to you. You don't really want to talk to me anyway. Cool. So he leads you into the ante.
Actually, I do kind of put my hand on him and I say, you were surprisingly well informed about all of this.
Yeah. Yep. You're not wrong.
How is that, Flip?
So he unties his thing and he pushes his hood over his face. He's got a very squint face, and he's very much a little human, and he's just like hard to explain. Let's just say I get around.
And I just sort of turn and I look, especially at Shadow, and I'm like, we're letting him live, though, right? I mean, we do not have to. I just clearly, but we are leaning that direction, correct?
Yeah, for now.
In my defense, I'm freaking adorable.
You're not my taste, friend.
Oh well,
Oh, I don't know. The right recipe book?
yeah, you guys are the right bunch for this humanitarian mission. I'll tell you that right now.
There's no humans involved at any stage of this, and then I hide because I don't want them to see me coming. If this is about to go how it might go, so
Okay, so you he leads you all to the antechamber, and as you enter, Kandrin stands excited, anticipating the return of that relic, and when he sees it in Bo's hands, dragging it almost like an strange cart of some kind for her tiny frame, he stands and says, "Yes, I knew you could do it. I knew you were the right choice. I knew you wouldn't have let me down."
Sorry, let you doon?
This
We
isn't.
have a few conditions.
Another Scottish dwarf.
All right. What is the condition?
You need to look into a recycling program. It seems that perhaps, unknowingly, of course, your smithing processes are hurting the environment. And downstairs in that water, it's pretty gross. And it's killing people. So...
You are destroying the mountain
yes.
that you live in, dwarves.
If you keep poisoning the mountain, you're going to lose all your sky metal, and then you're going to be broke.
And gnomes are going to keep taking your stuff, dummy. God.
Yeah. So we'll give this back to you. You know, best Vanna White impression here. We'll give it back. As long as you cut out the dumping.
The goblins have been complaining about that for years. It's had no
Yeah.
effect on them whatsoever.
They're turning to zombies.
Something interesting happens when you say that, Bo. The council is seated, as I mentioned, in a semicircular arrangement with Kandrin the speaker right in the middle. You've seen them lean in to talk to him, but you've never seen them lean in to talk to each other, and you spent probably an hour in this room. Two of them lean in and they start whispering to each other. And then another two whisper to each other. And then another two whisper to each other. Kandrin is sort of looking around like he doesn't even know what's happening.
I cast Minor Illusion and I make a rooster in front of him.
His face goes so red, you think he's about to suffer from an aneurysm. At the end, it's actually Kandrin's husband who stands. He's the final person who gets the message. And he says, "Thank you for bringing this to the council's attention. It seems our speaker has not been upholding our ancestral agreement as effectively as the council would like. Therefore, we accept your terms and commit to making every effort to work with our neighbors to solve their problems, including trying to find aid for the sick."
Yeah, nice.
As for our speaker, Kandrin, he has lost the confidence of the Council of Seven. A vote will be taken to replace him immediately.
I nominate Flip.
Yeah.
Flip sort of leans into you and he's like, what?
I mean, you know a lot of stuff around here. You were clearly concerned about the well-being of the goblins downstairs. You are the kind of leader that these dwarves need.
Strick?
Would just like to say the moment he says a vote will be held immediately to replace him, I ambush him and assassinate.
Okay.
but I do non-lethal damage
Okay.
for 30 points.
All right.
Just flat of the blade, just kind of appear like bam. Right.
So you
Like I could if I wanted to, just so you know.
Yeah, you knock him. You come out of nowhere. Nobody sees you coming, and you knock him the heck out.
The rooster just like gets on top of him and starts to like peck at his like ears.
I'm like, cock-a-doodle-doo, friends.
So,
Yes.
Two things happen. One, his husband seems shocked to see his husband drop to the ground, and two, he has to stifle a chuckle as the rooster starts pecking at the back of his neck. So the council begins to talk and says, once again, the husband of Kandrin speaks. You might be a guest, shadows across rooftops, but Doc has long been an ally of the clan Gravenbeard. We accept your nomination and ask him to take his seat as rightful speaker of the Gravenbeard clan. Skip is like, what the... So he hops up there, and he's like, all right, well, I mean, cool, great, thanks. I gave you guys a job and you freaking put me to work. I don't know how this happened, but I mean, I guess thanks for your help. Sort of.
Nicely played, Shadows. Nicely played.
Oh, my hammer.
Yeah. We did. The council did promise you a replica. Hey, Flip. Wait, no, that's me. Somebody get her the hammer. A dwarf does lug it out and hand it to you. You sort of catch it.
I'm so happy.
Well, as long as somebody's happy, that's really all that matters. Thank you, everybody, for playing. That is the end of our adventure. I'm so grateful to all of you for participating, and thank you to everybody in the chat who joined us and played along, giving them boons and banes to influence the adventure. I hope you had a good time. There's a couple administrative things. Thank you to our sponsors, Libris Arcana, Natural 20 Studio, Silverwing Armory, everybody who donated, including D&D Beyond. I'm happy to announce the winner of the Sourcebook Bundle, the Contributor Grand Prize, Daniel P. So Daniel P., if you contributed, please please do email prizes@fortnerd.com and we will get you that key. Okay, I have received the note. Yes, that's fine. But I do have something that I owe a few donors. Requires the internet.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like once you deliver on this promise, there will be nothing to follow it up.
Okay.
What was the total we ended with?
The total gold that you got?
I mean, the total money raised for the charity. The actual good part, not the murder hobo.
Yes.
The actual difference we made.
I will ask Matt to communicate that to me, and I will get that shortly. I know that over the weeks leading up to it, we raised $600 earlier. We've raised $2,000 previous to that. Our silent auction is up to $500. Our D&D weekend is up to $300.
Wow.
So we're over $3,000 so far for Squad Up in the last couple months. So thank you to everybody who's made that happen. So I'm hoping that somebody can hit !loot and then text me to let me know what our total is. What the game raised, Matt. But in total, everybody who's participating in Squad Up has raised just under $20,000. So,
That sounds amazing.
yeah, our goal is 25,000. So that's great. I'm not sure I'm going to get a total count of the game. $815 for tonight. Not including
yay!
So just under $1,000. Thank you, everybody, so much for participating. And before we go, I do have a few thank yous. I will sing "Let It Go," I promise. Not the whole thing, because I'm not a monster. Thank you to our cast. When I emailed you, you didn't know me. I just told you about this cause, and you jumped in headfirst. Thank you so much for raising your hand and saying, yes, this is a charity that I want to support. I'm willing to give my time for this. I'm so grateful that you did that, because we could not have done this without you. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who donated, all of the viewers, the people who contributed in chat. We could not have done this without you. The boons and banes were great. We appreciate it. Two final thank yous. In addition to all of our sponsors who I mentioned previously, Jake, our producer, who had internet issues, he made it easier for me during the first game to make sure that I didn't have to produce it. And second, my friend Erin. She did not get a cast card, but she was very important to this event. She did all of the graphic design. She did all of the ad videos. She did the cast cards. She did all of the visual elements of this event. So thank you, Erin. I could not have done this without you. I'm so eternally grateful to you for your assistance. Does anybody have anything they want to add? Because I'd like to give everybody an opportunity before I sing this, because then I'm going to take it out. I'd like you to each, where can people find you online, and where can they see you next? Why don't we start with you, Amy?
Oh, you can find me online at Twitter at LADYDZRA. This is actually my last D&D game for a while that I know of. I don't know.
We can fix that, Amy.
I would love to game with y'all again. This was amazing. And thank you, Gary. I think we're each gonna thank you in our little promo here. Thanks for DMing. Thanks for all of the work that you've put into this weekend. So you're the best.
Thanks, Amy. B Dave, why don't you go next?
Like, not me, thanks for nothing. Yeah. One thing I always say in these things, and usually it's a speech I give much earlier in the evening, so I apologize, is I know when you're doing charity things like this, literally every single dollar counts. Like, it's easy to see people throwing like 25s and hundreds of dollars and feeling like you can't. Literally every single dollar counts. So thank you for all of you and everything you did to support and continue to raise money to help hit the $25,000 goal and beyond. B. Dave Walters, Words About Things. I'm somewhere 7 days a week. Follow me on Twitter. I don't expect you to keep up with all I'm doing. I barely can, and I'm there for all of it. Thank you all for having me. Also, this is twice I've gotten to play with Ed Greenwood. Achievement unlocked.
Emma, why don't you go next?
This, like Amy, this is my last D&D game for a while. And I don't really have anything to promote. You can find me on Twitter at @cwakelin. Thanks, Gary, for running this. This was a lot of fun. You do a lot of good work, raising lots of cash for good charities. And this is another example of the service you do to our gaming community around the world, but in Toronto especially. And it was great meeting everyone. I had a lot of fun. And Ed, thank you for creating this world we all love, Forgotten Realms. It's been an honor to play with you tonight, and the rest of you as well. So that's me in a nutshell.
Ed, please.
Oh, I'd like to thank all of you for playing. I had a great time. It was lots of fun. I'd like to thank Gary for dungeon mastering. He made Flip completely obnoxious. I loved it. Thank you. And I can be most easily found on Twitter once a day at the Edverse. And thank you very much. It's been a joy. Gaming continues to bring me friends everywhere in the world, including all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Sam, how about you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at just my name, Sam Meggs, with 2 M's and 2 G's. You can buy my books, and I hope you do. The Unstoppable Wasp, Built on Hope and Conquest are out now. The Fangirl's Guide to the Universe and Tell No Tales are out soon. And I had an absolute blast. I love D&D. This was so great, and please support Jesse's journey in any way that what folks watching can. Thank you for raising money tonight. It was awesome.
Eric, I'm going to give you the last word.
All right. So first off, I guess you can find me on Instagram. That's where I mostly am. It's at EricMD246. And until the end of the month of September, I'm still going to be probably doing squad up stuff. So, I mean, if you can still donate, I've got the link on my Instagram bio, and I'm going to keep doing live streams on Twitch. I've been doing all of Uncharted if you have been watching. and that's Eric DMD Gaming. And I also just want to say thank you to everyone who's been donating and stuff, because I have a very personal connection with Jesse's Journey. I've been a part of their family since probably 2003 when I met them. And I met Jesse, I met all of the people that are there, and they're a really good cause. So yes, awesome that you guys have been donating and keep it up. So yeah, thank you.
So this was an incredible experience, and it does not end here. You can follow us on Twitter at FortnerDOTCOM for all the stuff we're doing. We're hosting a Dungeons and Dragons epic. Geeks United and the Fortner Discord channel have been running tables of D&D all weekend, raising money for the charity. There's going to be 40 tables between Thursday and tomorrow. And lastly, at tomorrow, we're running at the Talon and Claw Twitch channel. We're running a Sea of Thieves stream to raise money. Quest for the Cure continues. You can find us at twitch.tv/Quest for the Cure. There's going to be another D&D sourcebook available for contributors, as well as some amazing dice prizes and homemade woodworking products by the amazing craftsman Anthony from Talon and Claw. So it doesn't end here. There's more opportunities to donate. There's more prizes to win. And now, as requested by the chat, Flip will sing 2 verses of Let It Go. I apologize, everyone, in advance. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I am the queen. The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside. I couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. And that is all you're getting tonight, my friends. Thank you.
That was
so
the worst
much.
thing to happen in 2020 so far.
Thank you
And
so much.
Dwarven Council lies.
And
senseless.
assassinate.
Thank you all so much for coming. I am honestly grateful for everyone who put their hand up, everybody who participated in chat, everyone who gave me a kind word on Twitter saying what we're doing is worth it, because it is. 1 in 5,000 kids will be diagnosed with Duchenne. There isn't a cure, and that's something we need to change. And every dice that we roll, every game that we play, every step that we take can make a difference, and you've proven that tonight. Thank you all so much. Have a good night, and I hope to see you at Talon and Claw tomorrow. That's twitch.tv, Talon and Claw. Have a good night. Thank you.